Welcome back to another episode of the Otter Players Podcast, episode 60, where we've had a lot happen this week. A lot of good gaming to be had. Expedition 33 finally launching, the shadow drop, if you will, of Oblivion Remastered, Ghost of Yōtei's release date, Switch pre orders went live. Honestly, it's been an incredible week when it comes to gaming. Lots to talk about, lots to get into. We are going to go ahead and jump right into it. Um, as per usual, get right into the intros, but I'm going to start with our guest here, uh, Thrifty, the PlayStation gamer, joining us today for this very heavily RPG focused podcast. How you doing, man? And what have you been playing, Thrifty?
Man, thank y'all for having me on. I'm excited to be here. I have been playing Blueprints and Expedition 33. I have probably about 6 hours in Blueprints, 4 to 6, I think, and then I think I have about three, 3.5 in Expedition.
Okay, okay. How are you feeling? How are you feeling about those two? I know Blueprints is legendary right now. As far as that was the first game to go crazy, as far as reviews and people really freaking out. How are you feeling about Blueprints?
So, it, and I know the lead-in right now sounds like I don't like it. I love the game.
Mm-hmm.
It it is a cell phone game in the truest sense of every single word. Like it you could take that whole game and put it onto iOS or onto the Google Store or whatnot, and it would be amazing. It would do well. It would be a mobile title, but it also transitions very well into a console game. So it's simplistic, it's intuitive, it's challenging, but not too hard. Like you're just opening up doors and going through rooms. You're solving puzzles and it is a very very addictive experience. Like I'll play Expedition 33 on my TV, and then on my portal, when I'm laying down in bed, I'll put in one or two runs through Blueprints.
Okay,
And I don't like roguelikes and I don't like puzzle games. And Blueprints happens to be both, and I can't stop playing it.
that
Like
is a high compliment.
it's it's really really good. It's annoying as shit, and I find myself messaging Wara quite often. Go, hey man, what the hell, dude? I can't get past 17 rooms. What am I doing? And he's like, well, you got to think about it this way. And so like, there's this dialogue that constantly goes on with, I don't know how to like progress the game, but I can't stop playing it either. And nor that's not me. I don't like in gaming. I don't like games that kind of hinder me from moving forward. But no, Blueprints is really really good, fully deserving of all the praise. Uh, don't know if it's gonna get like on the table for Game of the Year. I know some people threw that out there.
Yeah, some people
Uh,
definitely threw that out there.
but like I just being to me being akin to that available to be played on mobile. And don't get me wrong, like there was a video or there was a mobile game called Room 2, Room VR.
Yeah,
Those
those are
all
really good.
started on mobile.
Yeah,
And they're good games. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm just saying it looks like it was designed with mobile in mind. It wouldn't surprise me if that game is going to mobile as well at some point. But no, it's really a fun game and I really enjoy it.
that's what's up, man.
Sounds like
Good.
the new Balatro.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. We starting off early with a new Balatro this year. Oh man,
Man,
that's what's up. Well, we'll definitely get into how everybody feels about uh, Expedition, so I won't ask you about that just yet.
that's why I
Uh,
didn't say nothing.
yep. So yeah, we're gonna do that as our first topic for sure. But Weeb, how are you, man? And what have you been playing, good sir?
I'm good. Thank you, sir. Yes, of course, I've also been playing Expedition 33 on Game Pass, baby.
Okay,
But I'm,
okay.
yeah, but I did like it so much that I did order it also for PlayStation. So
Hey,
I'm, which unfortunately does mean I'll have to put it on pause until it arrives because I want to get those trophies.
absolutely.
Um, so yeah, but we're going to talk about it. And the other game I've been playing is, well, you mentioned it in the intro, Oblivion, which
Mm-hmm.
Shadow Drop. Um, Yeah, I mean, let's first be real. Yeah, no, it's not going to steal any thunder from Expedition 33. I mean, as great as the game was back in the day, I mean, it's and great it looks. It's still, a typical, first-person Bethesda RPG. It's not gonna blow you out of the water or anything. But so far so good. I mean, I'm pretty early in. It has like the worst character creation ever. Like it's so ridiculously hard to make a character that actually looks good though.
I agree,
In the end,
man. Everybody looks so
it
hurt in
doesn't.
that game.
Yeah, I'm I eventually just said, okay, this is like uh,
Good
passable,
enough.
I guess.
Yeah, good enough.
That's a
Good enough.
part of the Bethesda jank though, Weave.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what they say.
For, Fortunately, it's a first-person game, so you don't have to see yourself that often. Um, but yeah, I mean, it is, yeah. There's nothing say shocking or surprising about it. But you do get to accompany Captain Picard around, so that's a plus, I guess. For the non-initiated, that's Patrick Stewart who's voicing the Emperor. Uh, but but yeah, those are the two games that I've been playing. And yeah, I'm planning to hop onto Expedition again once I get my PS5 copy, and then that's gonna be my next thing until I finish it.
Definitely. Yeah, it sounded a lot like where I'm at right now, so I definitely get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Morgan, how are you, ma'am, and what have you been playing?
Yeah, I'm good. Um, Finally finishing up some games, finishing these big ass RPGs I had to finish. So I beat and
I'm so
platinumed
proud.
Assassin's Creed finally. Like literally, as I was saying on the show that I'm almost done. Like literally as we ended last week's show, like
She
as
got
soon
it.
as and they said, "Okay, we're out." I got the plat. Like I was so mad. I was like, "Damn, I was hoping to get it before the show ended." But yeah, so I got that. Um, and then had like a few days before Expedition 33, launched. So I was like, let me finish up Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, because I knew I was close to finishing it. So I beat that and platinum that too. There was definitely a few trophies that were giving me trouble that
Did you cut out? Oh no.
like my favorite game of the generation so far. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was absolutely fantastic. In every sense of the word, just an amazing fucking game, an amazing Western RPG. One of my favorites in like years. So really happy with that game, and hopefully it is set up for a continuation of Henry's story. So there I could definitely see a Kingdom Come Deliverance 3 in the future, and if that's what they want to make next, I'm all down for it. Or whatever they want to do, you know I'm down with whatever Warhorse Studios wants to do, because this shit was just a masterpiece, 10 out of 10 for me. um, so yeah, I'm happy I got that done. 'Cause I finished that literally the same day that I had to go to GameStop and get my copy of the Expedition 33. So finished it and then literally put in the disc for Expedition 33. So now that's what I'm playing. I'm about 12 hours into that and absolutely loving it. Fan fucking tastic game. I know we're gonna talk more about it, but yeah, I'm addicted to it. I'm at the point where I'm playing it and sad that I have to stop. And I'm thinking about it when I'm in bed. And I thought about it while I was at work. And I got pissed because, like, damn, I'm not playing. So, yeah, it's been a pretty good gaming week for me. Been playing nothing but bangers, so I can't complain.
Absolutely. No, love to hear it. No, I thought you cut out for a second there. I think something happened with my internet, but I think we're good. It was
Oh, okay.
it was like a 2 second like delay or something, but I think we're good. But no, yeah.
Okay.
After some time, I know you were chilling for a bit, because you were playing a lot of the big games. Uh, Congrats on the double platinums. That's real big.
Thank you.
Like
I
I
just
said,
happy to finally get these games off of my, backlog of games because I was like, I cannot have another RPG that I'm playing while I got two other RPGs I gotta finish. Like I was just tired of it, so I'm glad I finished it.
yeah, it feels good. It feels good. Like if people don't play those games, they don't really get it. But like when you've got these massive, massive games just on your plate, especially when they're all really good and you really want to complete all of them, and they just keep coming. Like, don't get me wrong, we're not complaining. We definitely want them to keep coming. Like, it's a good situation to be in. Um, but yeah, it's
Yep.
been phenomenal, and I've been enjoying all that. But yeah, uh, Omar, how are you, sir? And what have you been playing?
So yeah, I'm fine. Lots of gaming. I finished The Devil Within Cat. It's the Metroidvania that me and Weeb played the demo during our visit to some type like Gamecom last year. I enjoyed it. It was fun. And same with Morgan. I had a few minutes to wait, well, a few hours to wait before starting uh, 33. So I'm like, okay, I have another Metroidvania. Let me see if I can beat it before. And then I ended up beating the Metroidvania first before starting 33,
Nice.
which it was fine. I'm leave it at that. Not every Metroidvania is the same, sadly, but yeah. Do you want to cover 33 right now or
No, we'll go into
talk
it
about?
next after. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, outside of this, I started another Metroidvania. So
Did you
right
start
now,
Mandragora?
and no, I need to look up if that's even available yet. But
It is.
I am playing another game right now, which I will explain it later to you. But basically, the world is my oyster, if that makes sense to you.
Got you. Yeah, as everybody knows, we always tease Omar about being a big Metroidvania fan. And if anybody else is one or have been keeping up with it, Metroidvanias have been launching like constantly for like the last 6 months. A lot of good ones, a lot of ones a lot of people have been waiting on. Honestly, it's been a little wild. The
And
amount
there's
of
more
them,
to come.
more
So
to come.
yeah, it's insane. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. As for me, a lot like Weeb, I did start the Oblivion remaster. I did successfully create a pretty solid looking character. Um, I had to make a female to soften them up because man, the dudes just were so rough. Uh, but
I know.
yeah, it's rough, man. They don't give you too many hair choices either, man. It's just like, you want to short, long. You want a braid in it. That's about it. Um, but yeah, other than that though, the game definitely looks amazing. I was playing it on PC, so got to turn it all up, max it out, go crazy. The texture work and just the details of the things that they've gone in and adjusted it have all been really, really well done. The global illumination lighting system, um, all the things they went in and really just went crazy with this game have been phenomenal. Um, Honestly, they really just knocked it out of the park. Um, and hopefully they get to do it again with some of Bethesda's older titles as well, because I could definitely see, some more of that actually coming out and doing some insane things and getting people into those franchises, being able to get into the older games that have been pretty dated um, for a while. I've also been playing and I finished Suikoden 1, the remaster. So I did finish that, got all
Congrats.
the trophies. Thank you. It's not a platinum because the game is double, so it's Suikoden 1 and 2 remaster. So in order to get the platinum, you have to get all the trophies for 1 and 2. So I am now moved on to Suikoden 2 and going for the platinum. Honestly, I'll probably double platinum the game, so the PS4 and PS5 version, just because I'm just such a big fan of Suikoden. I'm really just enjoying the game so much, being back in that world. Such an immaculately crafted RPG. Um, that I'm probably gonna go for it on both. So that's been a lot of fun. Um, I think those are probably the main things I've been going through. Obviously, besides of course the elephant in the room, Expedition 33, um, which yeah has been absolutely amazing so far. But we're gonna go ahead and jump into that and get right into it. So yeah, our first topic for today. I'm not gonna hold back the excitement that everybody's been feeling. We'll be very careful. So no spoilers. We're just going to talk about our first impressions with the game and very generalized things that don't, have anything to really do with the story, um, or, like I said, just staying away from spoiler territory. But yeah, so obviously, Expedition 33 came out this week to rave reviews. Scored a 90, settled at a 92. Is the current highest rated game of the year and one of the highest rated games of all time, which the team was very, very excited about. If you've been following them on Twitter and social media, like they've been just really appreciative and just really having a good time this week. I joked with Morgan about getting some croissants uh, the night that we played because I was like, I don't know, man. I feel like I need to get my French on when I play this game. You know what I mean? Like, I need some croissants and some wine, and I don't even drink, so that was a whole joke. Um, but yeah, she actually, if you follow Morgan on Twitter, you saw that she actually made some croissants to go with
I definitely did.
her game. They looked delicious. I was jealous because I definitely
They
forgot to
were
get
they were
mine.
great.
Yeah, croissants are amazing, especially when you butter them up just right. Um,
Yep.
but yeah, like I said, the game came out and has done absolutely phenomenal. The reviews have just constantly rant and raved about so many intricate things about the game, but just the overall tone of the reviews. Honestly, I haven't seen reviews like this in a long time. Uh,
I think it's got the highest rated user reviews of a game because it's like a
that would be
9.6 or something for the users or some shit like that.
God bless.
Yeah, I mean, well deserved. You know,
Yeah.
Plenty of all time, so yeah.
absolutely. I mean, the thing I'll say about this, I mean, from my perspective, it's about time, you know, uh, turn-based get that recognition. You know, people recognize, turn-based can be, a high-end looking, great gaming experience in the modern day. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm really proud of this team. The passion behind the team, like I said, I spoke about it weeks in advance as we were leading up to the launch. The passion behind this team, the games that they've played, all this stuff really showed up and showed out when it came to their own project. Right? I said at one point, it felt like me and all the people that I frequent that love RPGs got together and made a game. And honestly, you feel that passion in every little thing they crafted in this world. The custom systems um, within the combat, the way they really just took everything to the next level, right? Like this game is not missing any of the tried and true, really great things from the JRPGs over the years. Um, the complex systems that again these are things that are part of the conversation that we try to have over the years as we get new ones. One of the big things, elemental damage and the importance that plays in a lot of JRPGs, and the over the top skills and just very influenced stylized systems that you see from influences like Persona, the incredible music. um, Honestly, I could go on about it forever. Everything about this game has just been absolutely just the chef's kiss. Like, I can't thank the team at Sandfall enough for this incredible um, adventure that we're all embarking on this week. And hopefully, if you guys are in the chat as well, have been able to as well. I know, sadly for Hero, I know he didn't get a chance to pick up the special edition that he wanted because it was only available here at GameStop. So me and Morgan, at least, we definitely picked up the Lumiere edition, which you can see on our Twitters. But a couple other people got them too. But yeah, that's another thing that was just really special. When I unboxed that, they just really took a lot of care with the special edition, that I haven't seen in a really long time from a team. Just it's just crafted so well, looks amazing. So everything from the box to the game has just been an insane experience. But yeah, I want to get into how everybody else is feeling, their first impressions about the game, and just story. How they're just overarching, how they get the tone of everything, how they're feeling about all the systems in place, and see how they're really feeling. And again, I want to start with the man himself, our guest, because this is a big reason why I brought him on the show. Another fellow JRPG appreciator, Thrifty man. What is your first impressions after getting your chance this week to play Expedition 33?
Okay, so my very first impression during the first 5 minutes of the game, I couldn't get past, and this is going to be it's going to sound like a negative, I swear it's not.
Okay.
I couldn't get past the way the hair in the cutscenes at the beginning looked. It looked really grainy and like really off, and I was like, oh, okay. Beautiful environments, beautiful like character designs, character models, everything looked great. And I don't know if it was like the PlayStation or just that one cutscene, or if I ended up adjusting some of the lighting options in it, and I backed down the brightness a bit, and I upped the contrast, and I did some things, and now it's gone. So
Okay.
like that was my first impression though, was like, oh, I have to get in here and I got to tweak some things because my TV, I guess, I don't know. And so after that though, my second impression was, dear God, why is this piano playing so sad? Why why do I like I don't this is depressing almost like that, the whole beginning of the game is just so emotion filled,
Mm-hmm.
and there's not many games that I've seen start out that way. Like there wasn't some big boss battle that you had to do, there wasn't some massive quick event or nothing upbeat. Ghost of Tsushima, you're not storming the beach, there's not this big battle at the very beginning. No, it's gonna make you sit there and you're gonna watch it and you're gonna enjoy it, and it's literally gonna rope you in because my wife was watching one of the cutscenes today with me,
Mm-hmm.
which she hasn't done in a really long time, and she was like, man, this is emotional. And I was like, the whole dang game has been emotional. Like, and
Absolutely.
I'm only a few hours in. But no, outside of that type of stuff, the game does a lot of stuff really, really well. Uh, Combat is definitely one of those things. It's turn-based, but like you'll know it if you have to put the controller down because you're out of water or you need to use the restroom or you want something to eat. You'll notice it because nothing will happen. But when it's not your turn, you're going to be active. When it's your turn, you're going to be active. You're going to have something to do all the time. You're going to have to be thinking all the time, as well as using like button commands to parry, to dodge. So I think they found one of the best ways to blend, to give us that uh, to give us that turn-based combat,
Mm-hmm.
but to also make it super engaging for the quote unquote modern audience, right? Like that's what we heard during Final Fantasy. The reason for all the changes and stuff was because they're trying to attract a modern audience.
It's true.
Well, I think this game did it better and stayed truer to the design of turn-based combat and the intent of it. And so I'm absolutely loving the game. uh I still feel like with the point that I'm at in the game, like I'm gonna wake up from a bad dream. Like that's just what it feels like, because there's this thing that happens and it shifts everything really fast, and you wake up and it's different. and it's not like you left it 5 seconds ago. And so, yeah, I still feel like I'm kind of in a dream, and I'm expecting my character to wake up at any moment, but
No, I
they
I
have
agree.
not yet.
I
So,
I definitely concur with that feeling. No,
but
that's
yeah.
what's up.
Anyways, I
They
could keep
prepare
going. I'll let somebody else jump in.
No,
they
I get it.
prepare you, but don't prepare you at the same time. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I
Bro,
mean
they didn't
you're
prepare me for shit. Like,
yeah, I mean they told you
just happened.
you gonna learn to suck it up and deal with it. But
Like
yeah.
there is
Fuck the
even.
mission.
Did you guys
Mhm.
see when people are literally having intercourse? In did you guys go to that area?
I
Huh?
don't
You
I think you're saying this I think you're using the wrong word.
no, they were literally having sex.
Okay,
What?
not, I don't know what you're talking about.
There is some
He's okay. He's just talking about at the beginning where they were in the town before they shipped off or whatever. There's
yeah.
some people that's how they get over the grief. I mean, it's really not that big of a deal, but
Only
Right, that's
Omar
what
would focus on that, man.
I say where? I
Mhm.
literally
I
I
didn't even
talked to
see
damn near
that.
everybody.
Yeah, I
it
literally talked to
wasn't. It was a.
everybody.
You just walk up to one of the buildings or whatever,
yeah,
and
in
Oh,
you'll hear
building.
it.
You knock on it, you
Oh,
hear
okay.
the voice, you hear the moaning, and you're like, damn.
So the person who can't hear heard that.
Mhm.
I
The
mean,
irony.
I'm surprised you didn't say fan service
Yeah,
when
I'm
you heard that.
surprised he didn't.
it's
Yeah,
not fan
yeah,
service, so
Oh my god, I gotta walk away. Fan service.
fan service. Oh God.
some type of service.
Cause I'm gonna see a breast. It's getting real French. Oh man, no, but yeah, I will go to Weeb next because I know you haven't gotten as much time. So I want to see what's your early impressions. Weeb, I know you're waiting to get your PlayStation copy now. Now that you got a taste of it, what are your early impressions of the game so far, Weeb?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the fact that I did decide to just buy it outright, it tells you enough that yeah, I really liked it. Um,
Absolutely.
I do. I mean, I was tempted at some point to also switch to the French language to see, because I did notice that sort of the voice, that sort of the syncing is not entirely
Hmm.
always there, but I'm not sure if that's a language thing or just a budget thing. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I mean it was only yeah, initially distracting, and then you get that terrific opening, yeah, really getting in your feels, and then you're like, yeah, doesn't matter, um but yeah, I mean, I absolutely love how they just set the stakes that high already, and then you get to you get the expedition on the way, and then a lot of shit happens. Yeah, I didn't like I said, I didn't get that far at, but I did sort of got to the point where I got to explore and had a party and fought enemies and bosses, and I do like the nuance to the system. Like, it does not feel which again, it doesn't matter to me because I'm a turn-based RPG fan, but it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't feel slow or deliberate. Like the whole dodging and parrying mechanic makes things feel like they're yeah, it's almost like an action RPG, but just uh, there are obviously deliberate pauses between your attacks and your enemy attacks.
Mm-hmm.
But it has a very like cinematic feel. I guess that's probably the right word for it. Um, yeah, it does it does take some getting used to initially, but I
Yes.
think like the parrying is definitely a thing that you have to get into, because it's like most of the time I just dodge, because yeah, it was pretty hard to get that timing right. But when you do, it does absolutely feel very satisfying that you can do a counter and do a lot of damage. And from
Ton of
what I've
damage.
heard, it does sort of consistently uh, works, or it's very very advantageous if you actually master it, because at least from what I heard some people say that even like later on you can really easily beat bosses if you're really really good at parrying, and you can apparently parry everything. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's pretty hard to do that with with these large area effect attacks to figure out what's the right timing. Like I did beat the mime at the beginning. I think we were talking about it before the show,
Yeah.
but it's like the sort of the direct attacks are pretty easy to sort of predict how they hit, but like when you start swinging that, I think it's a hammer or something, like it's pretty hard to get the timing right because it's such a huge attack. They're like, okay, when is that attack? When can you actually parry that? And that's
Exactly.
I because it feels so overwhelming. Like, yeah, okay, you're getting a huge attack, like a huge hammer is hitting you, and you have to parry that. And that's kind of things it doesn't feel like you can parry it, and apparently you can, and that's kind of the I guess the thing that you have to get used to. But I'm definitely looking forward how that will evolve. I suppose I can imagine that if you're fighting the same enemies over and over again, at some certain point you're gonna get the
The
timing right.
pattern. Hmm.
But yeah, I mean that's for the regular enemies. I have no idea how that would apply to the bosses. But yeah, I mean, what I've seen, like it's intriguing. You do want to know what's going on, what's the story, and yeah, I mean it's almost sort of it's like Games of Thronesy in the sense like are all your your friends gonna survive or not? Like it sort of the entire setting feels very much like a very mature setting where it's yeah, you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know how this is gonna turn out. Like the way it starts, you're almost kind of guaranteed that I don't know guarantee, but it, I'm not sure if it's like gonna have a happy ending or if it's gonna be in the end sort of a very very philosophical ending, like you're you know that's not going to satisfy everybody. But I don't know, I mean but it does feel like it's not going to be a very straightforward it's a big bad you have to defeat, and when you do all's well, and everybody lives happily ever after. Like I don't have that impression, and it shouldn't, because it feels like something special. And I shout out to the developers with their tiny team able to produce something that looks this good and plays this good. And yeah, it's really successful. Well, had some pretty impressive sales numbers early on, I understood. So as it should, because it's a incredibly impressive game. And yeah, I mean, even from playing this pretty much the early hours, it's still you can never see that this is going to be an incredible experience. And I haven't even scratched the surface. So I'm really looking forward to getting to play the rest of it. And yeah, seeing how it ends.
Absolutely. Ah, thank you. That was very insightful, Weeb, and I think that speaks about why I wanted you to go pretty close here, because your earlier experience is what a lot of people are gonna feel when they first jump into this game, and I think that's really important for the tone and everything that they've really set for this game. And yeah, I don't think some people are ready, but yeah, I love that though, because it's nice to have a game with a completely different tone. This grittier, much more real life, hit you in the face kind of vibes. While being on this, adventure. It's not, flying ships and all whimsical, and magic's everywhere, and we love it, and you know, it's very much a gritty feeling, and I'm enjoying it myself. Um,
This
Morgan,
is even darker than what we call it, metaphor. I would say.
yeah, I mean, metaphor wasn't even really that dark to me. Like people, but I just think
So why?
people really aren't exposed to that stuff enough. But yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, like I mean, that was like just that was a regular Tuesday for me. Uh, metaphor, like that's just
All
life.
facts.
Yeah, yeah, like they were just dealing with regular stuff. You know what I'm saying? We dealing with that right now. We trying to stop, you know, half the world leaders from going to war out here. You know what I mean? So yeah, like I said, it's just Tuesday, but but yeah, Morgan. Again, I've been obviously playing alongside you, as well, and I know you're really into this, the music, the world. I mean, how is your first expedition into this world going for you? How are you feeling?
Well, I would like to start off by saying that, I would have gotten farther if a certain gentleman had woken up on time.
Oh,
Um,
oh,
yeah.
mm.
For those who don't know, when big games come out, me and Nate like to play at the same time. And for this game, we had to go to GameStop to get our physical copy, and GameStop doesn't open in at least in my area till 12. So we're like, okay, we're gonna wake up, we're gonna go to GameStop, we're gonna go get our copy. Okay, I woke up 11, got ready, went to GameStop, had to fight through the Nintendo fans because of course this is the same day that Nintendo pre-orders are happening in person at GameStop. So there was like a line of 50 people outside of GameStop. So I had to circumvent. I was like, I had to like tell him, wait, hold on, don't get mad. I'm not getting a Nintendo. Please don't jump me. I'm just here to pick up Expedition 33. Like, I swear, I'm not cutting the line. I swear. So I did that, got it, came back, called this man. He did not answer. He was still asleep. So in that time, I was able to beat in Platinum Kingdom Come Deliverance too in the 3 hours before he decided to finally wake up and go get it. So I didn't get to play, the entire day like I wanted to because of this man. But other than that though, yeah, I just had to put that PSA out there. But I did still get to play a good amount of Expedition 33, and it's honestly it's everything I really wanted it to be. A lot of the times in this industry, games come and like you'll see it and it gets hype and it looks cool, but it's just something about it, and it's just like you get it and you just realize all of it's like fluff. Like it was just you got overly hyped with it and it looked cool, but there was really no substance to it. That happens a lot, and I'm just really glad that that wasn't the case for Expedition 33. Like it was, that it wasn't just a misleading like, oh yeah, more gritty photorealistic looking graphics for a turn-based game, but there's not it, but it's not really turn-based, or it's like it's generic turn-based, but it's like I don't know, it's just so good. And like everybody's been saying, I'm not like, obviously I'm not going to spoil anything, but it just starts off with that gritty story that really gets you in the feels. I was just like, oh man, they just gonna make me like cry off rip on this game. Okay, like we're just starting off. Kind of reminds me of how Naughty Dog did with The Last of Us, just like straight to Joel's daughter's death. I was like, oh, okay, this it's that type of game. Okay, we're just going in straight for the feels now. All right, cool. That's how like Expedition 3 just started off for me. I was just like, wow, okay. And it was really well structured and well put together, with the music and the backdrop was just so well done. I was just like, damn, okay. Um, and of course, it just doesn't slow down with that feeling. It just keeps you there, especially just through the first act. I was just like, okay, wow. Um, but yeah, I love this game so far. Like I said, I'm like 12, 13 hours into it. Got a good amount of ways. I've opened up to the part where there's the map, you get the overlay map and everything. So I'm kind of like exploring the different areas. Definitely went to an area and I was just like, I was feeling myself and walked into this area. I was like, oh yeah, this enemy doesn't look that, big and badass. I'll take this on. He one shot me and I turn around because you know what, I didn't, you were that guy, so I'm just gonna walk away. Like they definitely have that are meant to for you to come back to. come back when you're higher level, and you got the better weapons, and you can do 999,000 damage and stuff like that. Yeah, so it's definitely a game where it's not just a linear style kind of game. You're going to be going back to different areas and finishing different quests and stuff like that when you level up. And as far as like the combat, I'm really enjoying this combat. I think what I really like about the combat is the fact that each character, the way you can build and essentially choose what each character has as far as their gameplay style goes, and you can make each character complement the other one, right? The way the skills are set up with it was kind of confusing at first, the way like the Pictos and the Luminous are set up, but once you get it down, you can like get each character to complement the other one. So what I mean by that is like, I have one character set up to add a mark on an enemy, so that like marks them and makes them, I guess, more susceptible to hitting. And I have another character that when an enemy is marked, their ability gets stronger. So I have one character set up the mark, the next one will hit the marks, so their ability is stronger and they get more damage. And then the last one is like when it's on fire, when this enemy is on fire and marked, they are also stronger. So it's like they all like build off of each other if you set them up correctly, and it's really great because you can get like a rhythm going that really deals well with regular enemies and bosses, like to the point where I'm not worried because I just got my team set up to go back to back with each other. And like I said, I'm just at the beginning, so I'm sure there's even more skills that you can do this with. And obviously, I guess we're going to be getting more characters at some point or something, or more people on our team. So I'm interested to see what they have to contribute too. So it's just I really enjoy that. And when I figured out that you could do that, it just became like a symphony when I was doing the combat, because I was just trying to get everybody set up to help each other. And I think I really like the way they set this combat up, and then
It's
the
very
fact that you
satisfying,
can
isn't it?
it's very satisfying. And the way you can set up Pictos to also enhance your combat for each character too. So it's like you got one character that maybe is an elemental kind of character who does like fire, earth, and lightning kind of stuff. You can put Pictos that enhance those things or give you better rewards for when you use those things, or start you off at a higher level because you have those elements. It's just like there's just so many things that help enhance your gameplay and your combat in this game. And I think a lot of people don't really understand how to use them, because it can be confusing, because I was definitely confused about it at first, but then I kind of just sat down, which is like looking and reading all this stuff and starting to realize how these things affect each other. And once I started getting it, I was like, oh, okay, so that's how you do it. So it's like it's just really like you said, and it's just really satisfying once you get it down. And now I'm just kind of, I know where I want my characters to be, and so that's kind of like the train of thought that I'm going into with the combat. Like, okay, for this character, this is how I want their attributes to be, this is what I want their skills to be, this is where I want kind of their level and their Pictos to be, and that's like the path that I'm taking each character on. But yeah, the combat, love it, absolutely love it. But I do agree that the parry is awesome. Like, like I swear, I parry sometimes, and it's just like, nah, you didn't hit, you got hit. And I'm just like, bro, there's no way. I know I hit that parry. But yeah, I think the parry window is just, it works when it wants to sometimes, it feels like. I do think they'll tweak it a little bit, probably give some grace a little bit. Just based on not just us, but a lot of feedback I see online too. Just like, it's just everywhere. Like, oh my god, the parry. Like, it kind of reminds me probably like what happened with Kena Bridge of Spirits when everybody was on that parry.
Yeah. You absolutely nailed it. It's as inconsistent as that game. Absolutely.
Yeah, so everybody was, on that about that parry. So I feel like that's probably gonna be one of the quality of life things, the first ones that they add to this game. But at least they have a dodge mechanic, and the dodge works pretty well. So, if you just can't hit the parry, I just go for the dodge, and that usually works like, 95% of the time. So at least there's that to fall back on. But I do love a good parry, so I prefer to try to hit the parry. Obviously because it obviously gives you perks if you hit the parry. Yes, you get that counter that is absolutely amazing, because it's not just a little basic counter where you just hit like a little bit of health. Like you get you hit that parry, that gives you so much that takes so much health from the enemy, like just a great chunk. I mean, it makes you just want to hit that parry all the time. And because of the art style and the way this game looks, like hitting the parry, it's not obviously for the just beating the boss, but it just looks so beautifully done. Like you hit that parry and the light shimmers, and it's just like, like it just looks so good. It's like they knew that people would want to hit that simply to have that little screenshot of when you hit that parry, and like the way the light hits and the pixel effects and everything. It's just I mean the particle effects. It just looks so good. And everything about this game looks so good. I think I've taken that's probably one of the games I've taken like the most screenshots of. Like I swear every 30 seconds I'm stopping and taking a screenshot, Like it's just gorgeous. I mean, it's got that obviously the French Revolution steampunk vibe thing going on, and I really love that aesthetic about it. But yeah, I think this, I know some people get upset, when people praise this game. They're like, oh my god, there's other turn-based games. You guys are just acting like, this is like the greatest thing since sliced bread. Listen, okay? I am just happy that people are finally realizing, like what Nate said, that turn-based can be bigger than just, 2D art styles. Like, and I love, as someone who loves 2D art style, I absolutely love it, okay? Loved Personas, love my metaphors. I love my Octopaths, okay? It's my Sea of Stars. I am a big fan.
Stars, so they can't tell you nothing.
Yes, I love those games, absolutely do. But I want turn-based in a wide range of available art styles, okay? For some reason, people only stick to like the 2D art style really when it comes to turn-based. For some reason, I don't know why.
Well, action-based games think that we should be happy with that, and that we should.
Yeah, and it's like, nothing wrong with it. I think that this is, is possible. I think this is in what makes people really upset, because I think this is what people wanted with Final Fantasy 16. This is the what people want to see with the evolution of Final Fantasy. And look, I liked Final Fantasy 16. Okay, I platinumed the game, so don't come at me. All right, think I didn't play it. I enjoyed my time with Final Fantasy 16. In order to get to play, you had to play it freaking twice. Okay, facts. I get it. I think I thought it was a good game. I liked Clive. Okay, I liked the story. Very Game of Thronesy. All right. I enjoyed it. But if this had been Final Fantasy 16, bro, it would have took it to a whole other level.
Yeah.
Like people would have been like, "Oh my God, Final Fantasy is back." Like people would have been raving. They'd have been like, "Yo, Square Enix is back, bro. The Kings are back." And
say it louder for the people in the back.
And while Final Fantasy 16 was good, it was really good. I just think people just wanted this. People wanted this evolution of turn-based, and now you have a French team of like 30 people doing it. Like, and it's just like,
some type of way, don't they?
Yeah, and I think what made people even madder about the situation was them saying, well, the reason we turned to action-based is because we wanted to get a wider audience. That's audience, the Western audience specifically. That's, in order to attract them, we turn to action-based. Like, you don't need that, bro. I swear. Play turn-based, okay? It just has to be good. And if you had put, Final Fantasy 16 with Clive and everybody, and you had done this kind of combat with it, it would have been fan-fucking-tastic.
Absolutely.
People would have ate that shit up. But hopefully, I see, like I said, I shared it in the chat the other day where I did see Final Fantasy 7 comment on Expedition 33's post, and congratulating them, and I'm just like, I was like, side eyes. I was just like, okay. So are we seeing the success? Are we seeing the success, Square Enix? Are you seeing it? Are you seeing the hype? Are you seeing the Metacritic score? Are you seeing the user score? Are you seeing the Steam numbers? Are you seeing the sales? Are you seeing the success of this game and it's trending online? Everybody talking about it. So are you seeing the correlation, Square? Because
facts.
people want you to see it. People want you to see it. Okay? So I'm hoping with Final Fantasy 17 happens, if it's ever a thing, if it's in the works right on, if y'all in the pre-planning stages, I hope you are paying attention and looking at this and being like, you know what? It seems the Western audience does like turn-based, and they want it in a more, gritty, adult, photorealistic kind of vibe, and they're okay with that. That seems, they seem to like that. Maybe we should do that. I don't know. That's just me hoping.
A team that committed to their idea, didn't second guess themselves and think,
That's what I'm saying.
we need to do something. We need to do whatever's hot right now. We need to trend chase.
And people keep asking, how can Team of 30 do this? How can they do this? I'm like, this kind of shit usually can only happen with small teams because they care, they're passionate, they want to reach, and they don't have to really answer to anybody. They can do the vision that they all come together to do, and they can put it out because they came together because this is what they like. They are all JRPG fans. They all wanted to do this. This was their goal, and they wanted to take the best of what they've played in previous JRPGs and put it into a modern game, and that was the goal they did. They didn't have to answer to anybody. They didn't have to, publishers, well, that doesn't look like a realistic goal. We don't really know if that's viable for the market currently. They didn't have to answer to any of that bullshit. They just did what they wanted. And that's why a team of 30 was able to do this, okay? That's why you got, like, teams of 500 producing crap because they have to answer to the suits who don't really know what the fuck gamers want, okay? So yes, smaller teams, independent teams. That's why the indies are thriving, because they make what they like. They are passionate developers who make, who put that passion into their work and make what the fuck they like. And this is why the smaller teams are winning right now. This is why they're fucking winning, because they're making this kind of greatness for all of us to play. So shout out to the team. All right, shout out to those crazy French developers because they freaking did it. All right, and I can't wait to see what else they do. I don't know if they're gonna continue making, JRPG-esque type games, or if they're gonna move on to something else. But whatever they're doing, I am going to be down for, because they have proven themselves. Like, your first freaking game, and you were like one of the highest rated games of all time. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's a crazy ass accomplishment to reach. With your first freaking game. So like I said, I'm so proud of that team, and I'm so grateful that they did this, and so happy, and that's why I was down to support day one. I'm buying your game. You did it. I'm supporting you. I hope this game skyrockets for them, and I hope it's profitable for them, like in the soon future.
Yeah,
so,
I want to see 10 million sales. I want to see people really come out and support.
I want to see it.
I'm surprised if they hit million.
Like, yeah.
Word of mouth, everything in between. If they release a demo, oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that would have helped too, demo for people, because I've seen it attract a lot of people. And, like Nate said, Priscilla, she's not a turn-based fan, and even she's never played turn-based before.
Yeah,
she doesn't like turn-based games.
She was up till 10 in the morning playing.
She was playing for hours.
The heck?
Yeah, she went crazy.
She
played it?
Yes, she does not like turn-based, never played turn-based. Turn-based to her, not something she want to play, but she jumped on this game and couldn't stop. That's the type of stuff that I like to see, okay? Non-turn-based fans, and I've seen a lot of that on Twitter, non-turn-based fans talking about, like, oh my god, like, I don't even like turn-based, but this looks amazing, I want to play it, And so, this is why the whole we need to make action based for the West, because it's not what they like, is laughable. Because if you make a game that looks so appealing that everybody has to try it, then you're gonna have six. I mean, it was the same reason Elden Ring was such a big hit, right? People saw it. People who didn't even like Souls games or never touched a Soul game before was like, yo, what's this? This looks crazy. Everybody was talking about it. It was one of the highest rated games. It was trending. People who never touched the Souls, didn't like Souls, at least had to try it once. That's what I'm saying. So it's like if you make a, people will come. Okay. And I just need publishers to understand that. But a lot of them, they want to take the safe route, the tried and true route that has quote unquote proven to work. But I mean, if you just copying and pasting everybody, nobody wants the copy. Everybody wants the original. So you have to bring your own flavor into this industry, or otherwise you sink. So
Agreed.
again, shout out to Sandfall. Game is amazing, art style amazing, music freaking fantastic. I've been listening to this music on and off. I'm loving finding the little albums around them in the camp. You can find albums and play them in your little camp area. They're great. I've been listening to the soundtrack too while I was in the stuff. Like it's the same way I was doing with like Stellar Blade. Like amazing soundtrack, just amazing all around. Like I think the one thing I was worried about coming into this game was like the writing, because that's something that can definitely hit or miss with a lot of developers. But like I said, right off the bat, hit me in the emotions. So, and the story hasn't let up. Like I'm enjoying all of these characters. Each of them bring their own personality to the game, and they each help each other. So there isn't any weak character to me thus far in this game. Everybody is pulling their weight. All the characters are great. Have no complaints. So yeah, just great. I'm rambling, but yeah.
No, that's perfect. Like I wanted to hone in on something you said, because this goes back to a post that I did a couple weeks ago where I said after 30 years of gaming, over 3 decades of gaming, I've discovered that RPGs are the greatest genre ever. And I actually gave reasons why that is. And I was explaining to people that there's no other genre where you have to hit so many metrics to be considered, to get rated so high, right? And that's what this game did. The character development, the world building, the music,
Yeah.
the combat, all of this stuff has to hit. Mario doesn't have to worry about the story or the character development or even the world building. Mario is about level design and gameplay, right? And it'll
Yeah.
get a 96. That's not saying that's bad. I'm just saying that what it takes to create a great RPG takes so much more than just one thing. You can't just do one thing well, um, and create an amazing RPG. And I think that's what makes them so amazing, especially when you get one like this where they're just hitting on so many different levels, right? Like you were saying, it's drawing in people who typically wouldn't, right? Heroes in the chat saying,
Mhm.
he typically doesn't, and it's just, hitting for him, and he's just like, he feels like he's discovered something in him, when it comes to turn based now, now that he has jumped into this game. And this is, again, this is a big reason and a thing that I've been trying to convey to a lot of people who don't understand, um, who are just happy with whatever, Square does. And I'm explaining why their downfall has kind of happened, you know, um, with what they've been doing currently. Again, not that they haven't been doing great things, but a lot of their stuff has been on the lower end of the spectrum as far as like graphics and stuff, right? Like you said, we love, the 2D, the 2D, 3D, the all that stuff, right? But we're talking about Square, who was the undisputed king of, you know, leader of the JRPG, genre for a very long time, for a good reason, especially when it came to the high end version, right? The AAA level JRPG, right? Like no one was contesting them. Um, and that's what we want to see back from them, and see that focus from them, to not be afraid to deliver stuff like this, right? Like I'm eternally grateful to Sandfall for putting this out there, showing what can happen, showing that they can, get that crazy high rating. They can pull in people who've never had it before, right? Like they had the perfect solution, right? Like we talked about it, what the Western what they think Western, audience wants. They want that instant gratification. They want to press the button. And I'm like, look, they found a way to make people press the button without
Yeah.
without compromising their game. Like, you know
The
what I
funny
mean?
part,
Go
the
ahead.
funny part is we are playing the game and always thinking about a square. Why couldn't you reach this status? Like the fact that we thought about Square, we didn't think about Atlas, we didn't think about any other uh,
Mm.
studio than just Square. Because let's face it, Square are right now are in the bottom when it comes to their games.
Yeah,
Yes,
the
they
rest of the
have
studios
some.
doing their job. So
They have a few hitters like Octopath Traveler. These are hidden gems, absolutely. Bravely Default exists. Romancing Saga exists. However, where is the original Square? Where is the Square that I fell in love with? Playing Final Fantasy 6, 7, 8, fuck 8, 9, 10, 12, like
this man forever an
5,
eight
4.
hater.
I'm absolutely hate it. Give me 13 over 8. Um, so
Well,
I
to
mean, I
me,
like 13. So
it's like,
mm, uh,
what happened? Yes, there could relate and their acquisition 33 team, but I'm like, take fucking note, pay attention, listen to people's feedback. Yoshi P comment genuinely uh, shredded any faith in us with Square because who he is and also where he is. He's I think on one of the board member or something like that. So he is pretty higher up. So it's just it's so frustrating. I was watching people raving about it and being excited. I'm like, the second I played the game, it's literally the very first combat, and I felt it. I'm like, where this could have been new
yeah,
with a bigger budget and a lot of I mean they're gonna bloat it, but hey, at least it would have been what we've been asking for. Instead, we got 16 and we used fire on a firebomb. I am never gonna get over that one.
yeah, that was a big thing for a lot of people. But
Yeah,
yeah, no,
so one of
go
the
ahead.
things that one of the things that Morgan had mentioned was the combat and like the way it ends and how it always feels satisfying.
Hmm.
I cannot tell you how many 30-second clips I probably have of just the end of combat. Same.
Yeah, I did. I created a video. It's literally 15 minutes of me doing all the three fights back to back. Like, yeah,
It's
no,
it's just end of combat with the flip that they do or
Hmm.
Oh yeah, they get
whatever
it's so
special move that you
stylized.
had. Yeah.
But what you're talking
But
about, right, is a staple of turn-based games. This is something that I explained to people that I couldn't really show them in modern day because Square hasn't really been doing it. Like when like all the skills were over the top. What's one of the main things people talk about? You guys are both big Final Fantasy VII fans, right? What do people talk
yeah.
about? Knights of the Round all the time, all the time.
Yep.
The big super
Final
over the top, you know.
Final
Well,
Fantasy
everything
VI.
was big, right? Every
Mm-hmm.
single thing. What do you know? What do you think of when you think of Cloud? The big ass Buster Sword. What do you think of when you think of
Exactly.
Barrett? The big ass gun on his arm. Like
I
what? Like it was always everything was big. Everything was massive. Nothing made sense.
Yeah,
Everything.
no, yeah,
Yeah.
I
Go ahead.
agree.
Sorry.
Saban in Final Fantasy VI literally suplexing a fucking
Oh
train.
yeah, suplex the train. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Like we can go there. Like Square used to be fun, dude. Like you can
You can
make it.
even go the other side. Like Square went modern, more modern rather, with 16, right? And it was the old English setting, like has already been said, the Game of Thrones setting. It was Throne of Fantasy 16. Like that's what it was, and that setting kind of made people like, wait, I don't know if you can do that. But this game shows that you can go with a more modernized setting, like a
Yeah,
steampunk style setting, And I think the reason why we hate, and not hate, but why we equate this type of success or this type of quality in a turn-based RPG, and we automatically go, well, okay, Square. What do we think on Square? And it really is because they are the ones that were producing the highest quality, period. It was never Atlas, it was never East Asia,
Mm-hmm.
it was never oh, there was another one that I can't think of.
Falcom,
Who?
Falcom from the
Oh,
Trails
there you
The
go. Yeah,
Trail
yeah,
series,
thank you.
yeah.
franchise.
It was never those companies that were producing the highest quality of everything. They weren't giving you Final Fantasy X on the PS2.
Thank you.
They just weren't. And so now we're looking at it and going, okay, so your production quality is no longer leaps and bounds above everybody else. And I think because of that, it is leaving us to criticize more the other aspects of the games. And it, in other words, they can't just get by because the summons look phenomenal and the combat is flashy and the
Exactly.
burst effects look great. Everybody does that now
Everybody got
because
that.
of them. Like, and it's almost like the students have exceeded the masters. Like,
I
Absolutely.
mean, they really
that's
have,
what
to
it
be
feels like.
honest. Like this
And
is
I'm a square shill. Like,
the new
that's
team,
me. It's the new team, and these are ex Ubisoft devs.
right?
Yeah.
I laugh
Like,
so hard about that, but not. Yeah,
and I
I
haven't
get where you're
climbed
coming
one
from. Go ahead.
tower. Go ahead. Sorry.
Imagine. Oh, go ahead, Tripty.
No, no, no. I was just gonna say, and I haven't even climbed a single tower in the game yet. It's like,
Right.
Oh
it's
yeah.
great.
Yeah, go ahead, Robert. You were gonna say something.
Yeah, I want to say, imagine if Ubisoft hasn't created game.
I mean, part of the problem is probably the Ubisoft overhead, and that's what a lot of people were
Yeah,
alluding to, which is why they are ex Ubisoft devs. You know, they went and made their own thing to do their own thing, and this is the result. You know, and I do gotta imagine some of the people are definitely kicking themselves right now. You know, because this possibly was pitched to them, or you know, whatever and whatnot. And you know, honestly, I think most Western studios wouldn't dream of letting a team do this. So you know, shout out to them for just going out on their own, taking that risk, and creating
Yep.
something amazing. Like I said, again, I can't thank the team enough. Like seeing their excitement. They recently posted, you know, them celebrating when they first showed the trailer and saw the reception online. Like you could see them looking at their phones and they're like, you know, look what this person said and look what these people like. Honestly, that's what it's all about. That's how I want to reward devs who give us these incredible games and incredible experiences. That this is right. And again, this isn't that the game is perfect, right? I want to make sure people understand that, right? The game is not perfect. We all have part of the thing that the next thing I wanted to go into is what, you know, at least because we're all early on still as well, but what if anything, you know, quality of life wise, or things would you like to see updated for the game or patched in, right? Obviously, the big elephant in the room, the game is beautiful. None of us can stop taking freaking pictures. Photo mode is obviously a massive want for a lot of people. I actually found out some of the pictures we've been seeing online. I guess some people, PC people, are cheating. I guess
Yeah.
there's
Go
some sort of
figure.
injector. Yeah, like yeah, there's some sort of injector where there's tools where you can mess with the visual, you know, almost like they're like a fake photo mode that you can basically put on top of the game. So because I was wondering, I was like, how are some people getting some of these crazy screenshots where they're like really zoomed in on some of their faces and they're getting some of these really crazy
Getting
shots.
PC mods.
Yeah, so yeah, they're modding the game. So I was like, okay, because I was super lost for a minute. I was like, yo, where are they getting this from? Like, I'm jealous. Like, where I want to take more shots. Like, I've got some great screenshots, but like,
How
they've
they
been going
released this
crazy.
beautiful ass game with no photo mode? That's a crime.
It's a crime. It's a crime. It's amazingly beautiful. Honestly, I need the I need the gorilla team to just jump in over there and be like, look, let me help you get this going, because you know how robust the Horizon photo mode is. Like, I need that
Mm.
level of detail.
Or Insomnia, because they do amazing photo mod as well.
Yeah, yeah, both of those teams. So yeah,
Sucker
whoever can
Punch as
help them
well,
get it up
Ghost
and
of
running
Tsushima.
by like next week, I'm gonna need that ASAP.
So
Yeah,
real quick. This is completely side note, but still about the
Yeah.
game. Does anybody else while they're playing just see Robert Pattinson? Like anybody?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I've
Yeah.
seen a few
Like
people mention that. Yeah.
I mean,
I think that
apparently,
enhances the game for me because I only know him as the vampire guy and Batman.
how dare
So
you?
like
How dare you, sir?
he's the hero. Like that's it. Oh, and like that's it though. Batman and the vampire dude.
Oh
No,
man.
I feel you. No,
Oh,
Morgan mentioned it super early on to me, like
Yeah.
literally as we were
Apparently, the
starting the
devs
game.
said that he was used as the inspiration for the character. So
Okay, so he
That's
really,
really
so
cool.
they did say it. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, you can tell like the facial expressions, the mannerisms. A lot of them, like it, the voice and the face. It's like it throws my mind for a loop every once in a while. Like, wait, that's not Pattinson's voice.
Yeah, that's Daredevil's voice.
That's Daredevil's voice. What are we doing?
Nah, I get you. But yeah, like I said, just wanted to hone in on that. And just let everybody know. Like I said, it's not about the game. The game is not perfect. We all have one or two things we'd love to see added, or certain things tweaked. We talked about the parrying and stuff like that. But you don't have to make a perfect game for it to be amazing, right? Because we're not asking for a perfect game. That the perfect game doesn't really honestly exist, right? Like I told people, my favorite game of all time to this day was made in 1998. That is when it released, and that is when I was lucky enough to play it. And even that is not perfect. Like, it's not about that. But what you have to do in a lot of these things, especially when you are in these specific things, right? Like I said, the RPG genre to me is one of the hardest ones to create for, because, like I said, all the instances and all the things that matter in it, you don't get to do. Like, it's not a visual novel, so you don't get to just create a great, amazing story and characters. There's the gameplay and the combat systems, and how do those things interlink with each other. How, is there a synergy system? There's systems on top of systems on top of amazing writing on top of amazing characters. You have to do all these things so well, right? um, and again, it's not just turn based. That's just what we're talking about right now. But I mean, Mass Effect is a perfect example of a franchise that did all this stuff well, which is why it's so legendary. Which is why you see people across the industry and gamers alike celebrating N7 Day every time it comes around. Even though we haven't really gotten a Mass Effect in years, that trilogy is so legendary because of its writing and the importance of its characters. People have gone on to, I still see the N7 symbol, and Garrus and all the different characters on the back of people's vehicles. The Mass Effect franchise has had a Star Wars-esque effect on gaming, where when people really get to first experience this game, in these stories and these characters in this world, it's special, right? I think a lot of people have gotten that even with the evolution of God of War, switching up and getting to see Kratos in a different light, and how him and his son's, growth has happened, right? A ton of people spoke about how they felt about that have sons themselves, right? All these things are important, right? And no other time are all these things and the culmination of these things more important than when you're talking about RPGs, because again, like I said, you need all these things to click when you create an RPG. So yeah, like, just really just amazing, and amazing what the team has accomplished so far. I can't wait to see what they do, what they're able to add, the quality of life changes. I'm sure they're working hard already. I saw them celebrating, when the game had launched, and they honestly are just flabbergasted at the reception of the game. But I'm really, really thankful for them for doing this, because it shows, you know, a lot of teams who have really been afraid to invest in a turn-based combat-oriented game that you can succeed. You can be a top-tier game with that system. It is not outdated. There's so much you can do. There's so much more left in it. The strategy, like we talked about, the sense of accomplishment and just satisfaction when you nail that parry, or you execute that skill, and you see it coming. And these are the type of things that I'm so glad that a lot of my friends and family and fellow gamers will get to experience, some of them for the first time. That satisfaction of like seeing what I call it, that well executed plan comes together, where in this case, your pictos and all your stuff goes off, and you're like, man, I got max AP, he's on fire, I'm about to execute DEFCON 5 on this motherfucker. Like it is so satisfying to just have all your stuff just really line up and have your strategies really work out. It is just awesome. But yeah, real quick,
So,
go ahead.
yeah, no, for me, it's this journey literally just started. It's been amazing. The music hits you like right away. There is no tomorrow when it comes to the music. Like the music is so good. I just stayed in the area just to listen to the music. And the fun thing about the music, even when it disappears, when you're in gameplay, it still comes back as a tune, which is again phenomenal. And then the mime music scene on a whole different ballgame. Like they found a way to make even the combat music insane, which is phenomenal. Outside of that, the combat, I love how they made it simple. Yeah, it sounds simple, but it's not. But at the same time, it is. Most of the enemies only have two patterns. If you learn them, you're good to go. If they iron out what Morgan comment about, the parry, this game would go places. Because right now, the most frustrating thing about it is the parry. And, in my opinion, the lack of a mini map. Especially with the games that demand from you exploration, I do think a mini map would have been great help. At least that's what I saw people talk about, which I actually agree because there are. I missed out on a mini boss because the minimap didn't showcase to me what it is, and when some areas blend in together, you gonna miss out on a lot of things. Because with this game, you gotta be very thorough with your what do you call it?
Yeah, exploration.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exploration. Like you gotta absolutely look through every nookie and cranny if you want every upgrade, which upgrades are insanely valuable. Like for
yeah,
example,
they are.
I picked up an upgrade that allowed me to have the ability to either use two potions or use two revive, and it sound not a lot, but trust me, reviving the game so far it's insane, especially on the hardest difficulty, because you get one shot at most of the time or two shots. It depends on the enemy type. But yeah, no. It it's frustrating when we went back to Square because at this time I hope they get it. I truly do because like you can make turn-based combat fun. This game proved it, but you know what other game proved it beforehand? Sea of Stars. The skills in Sea of Stars were what you call it, button press. You gotta be involved in it, and it was fun.
Well, I mean, the
That's
sad
how
the
it.
sad thing is they've done it themselves with Octopath Traveler too.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that had a lot of
another one.
play on a lot of skills, a lot of the arts working in synergy with each other. Like again, they've even had it internally. It's just Square is just on this defiant path of we need to do what we believe the hot thing is, and that's where they're at right now.
Yeah, but let's see where that takes them. As
Yeah,
for us, we're gonna enjoy 33, which
absolutely.
might end up being GOTY. Can you believe it? In an era where we're gonna get Ghost of Yōtei, I'm gonna talk about that, and even Death Stranding 2, all in the same year, and Lost Aside, all in the same year.
Yeah,
And we
there's
had
a lot of
prediction
games.
like insane. But yeah, let's move on. We've been on
Um,
So
around.
before we roll on, I want to glaze one more time for the
yeah,
game. Because one of the things that really impressed me a lot was the mocap during the cutscenes.
it is very
The
beautiful.
work that was done on like matching the eyes with the mouth movements, with the micro expressions, with the way that the speech and dialogue have been stacked together, uh, as in like one person talking and then the other person coming in. It is very, very conversational and not so much two NPCs or two characters talking to one another, if that makes sense. Like it feels like you're almost feels movie-esque,
No,
right?
the
Where
characters
you're
feel real. I agree.
yeah, it feels very, very real. The dialogue doesn't feel forced, it doesn't feel campy. It doesn't and that adds to like the weight of what's going on. Like I said earlier, when I said F the mission in the pre-chat that we did,
Mm-hmm.
that scene was where my wife had looked and goes, "This is emotional." Very much,
Oh
yes.
yeah, she came
Like
in at the right part.
that whole right,
The
right?
beginning? Yeah, that
That
was.
whole scene was just oozing with emotion, and if it would have been handled like you see it handled so many times where one person talks, there's a half a pause, then the other person says something,
Mhm.
then there's a half a pause, then like it wouldn't have hit nearly as hard as watching the two characters interact without missing a single beat. It was apps, and then I started like, because I pay attention to stupid shit. I start looking at like the way their mouths are moving when they're not talking.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and you can actually see like as one of the characters speaks, the main character will like crack this little like half smile, or uh, when the main character sees this, they they when they see this other character after being separated for a little bit, like there's this moment of disbelief that you can see in one of their eyes, and like you can see the apprehension, you can see the way they're like everything can be seen and felt through their expressions and through them speaking in the dialogue. And so I was blown away by how well the mocap was done on this, and the fact that it was done by a team of 33 freaking people. Like that's we don't get this good a mocap in games that have 100 people on them.
That's facts. That's facts.
And so like and we talk about a lot, at least on my podcast, we talk about like the that mocap is driving up the cost of these games and makes them take longer to come out and all this other stuff. And then we get a game like this and I got to look and go, maybe not.
Maybe not
Like
exactly.
maybe not. Maybe it's not mocap's fault. Maybe it's something else. But anyways, that's all I'll say. I'm done.
No, no, I 100% agree with you because that was a conversation that I was having with Priscilla while we were watching one of the scenes that she had first got to, where that part where he's talking to his sister, and Priscilla actually watches a woman on YouTube who talks about like real, actual real life people and body language, how
Uh-huh.
she does a lot of speeches for like politicians and stuff, and she explains, she's like, look here, humans have a bunch of tells that they do depending on if they're telling the truth, depending on if they're looking back into something that they remember. And she's like, here you can see his emotions are true, it's his body is singing with his voice, this is how they really feel. He's searching, you can see here, the eyes are up, he's searching back in his memory for what's
Yep.
happening, all these things. And I can see that in this game when they're having these moments with each other, those moments of recollection, like you said, the fuck the mission, right? Um,
Yeah.
that whole scene, I felt that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like we gonna talk about it after the show because I don't want to spoil nothing. But
yeah,
yeah,
like
that
Yeah.
scene was like,
I
I was like, yo, get your ass up and let's get this shit done. You know what I mean? Like, so
what
yeah.
we
Oh, and it plays
we
super well on the Portal.
Oh
Just
yeah.
and I
we
thought it wouldn't with all the like focus that there is on timing,
Hmm.
because for some reason in my brain, whenever I'm playing something over the cloud, I'm like, this is gonna suck ass. There's gonna be glitching, there's gonna be pacing issues and all this. It runs phenomenally on that dang handheld.
Absolutely. What were you
so
gonna say,
I want to
Carla?
say that yeah, I want to say it. What you guys talking about is what I love is people. We call them voice actors, right? But they are not per se actors because they're experiencing it for real. In the sense of they don't know about the script most of the time. They get emotional like us. Like they're gonna feel it. Like there's so many moments where Troy Baker talk about his emotional scene with The Last of Us, where he literally had to do a double take on both times. He cried his souls out, because that shit was emotional as fuck. So I would not be surprised. No, not I would not be surprised. I'm not surprised that Expedition 33 team went with that route. Instead, the generic, or not generic, but like robotic um, uh, conversation. Because, yeah, it feels real. The conversation feels real, but also the NPC feels real as well. The world around you feels real. That's what makes it so impactful. That's why when what happened, you felt it. Like
Yeah.
you felt how everyone it perceive you, how they're talking, how and then the boom, and you're like, and the shift, the tone and the shift in the game. But yeah, I can talk in a lot about this game, but let's move on.
Sorry.
No, no,
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. So you had already said what you know, the mini map and stuff like that. I just want to go by everybody quickly and see what you guys thought. If you have anything so far off the top of your head, you don't have to. But if there was an improvement or a quality of life change to the game, what would you, at least so far, what would you want? I'll start with Morgan. Morgan, if there was any improvements or quality of life changes, what would you want added to the game?
Um, well, obviously tightening up the parry. Um, but also um add HDR to the game.
Okay, I didn't know it. I didn't
HDR
know it
isn't
didn't have it.
currently in.
Okay,
Nope.
okay, cool. That is not a long list at all. She's enjoying herself. Weeb, I know you're really early. Did you have anything that you thought of, at least in your early experience with the game?
No, yeah, fix the lip sync.
Ah, okay, yeah,
Then we're
Yeah.
golden. Yeah.
that is fair. Thrifty, did you have anything that you would like added?
Uh, a mini map, please, for the love
Yeah,
of God, or something,
Yeah,
something at the top of the
Yeah.
screen, anything,
Yeah.
an arrow, a beep, a button, a fuck, anything,
anything.
anything. Because Morgan's over here going, I found all these things, and I'm like, well, fuck, I've searched everywhere, I've walked in
yeah,
circles 85 times
I
and ain't found shit. So, please, please give me a map of some sort. I'll pay for it. I don't care. Give me a map, like anything, and not just in the overworld.
No, agreed.
Outside of that, no. There's absolutely nothing else I would
Yeah,
change.
Nate was
That's
asking for the same
I
thing when we were playing the other
I
night.
just want a
Mm-hmm.
mini map. That's it. Nothing else is needed. The parry system, whatever. Sometimes the L1 or the R1 button doesn't actually like register. I don't care. I just need a mini map so I can go find my shit and be happy. That's it.
No,
I
I
do
agree.
think that the lack of minimap is actually fucking over as a gamer, and but even them, cause they created the world. They want us to
Well,
experience
I mean,
these.
he commented on it actually.
Yeah.
The director stated he
I
felt
know he
like a
did.
mini
Oh, he
map.
did.
Yeah, so yeah, he said he felt like a mini map uh, basically hinders the exploration of the game.
Absolutely.
But again,
It
I think this is a problem. This is one problem with the small team, and I get it, and you can't attest for everything. But I think they just really underestimated the complexity of some of their levels and how turned around people can get in some of these places. And then like Thrifty was saying,
That's it.
part of the reason you need that is to know you explored over there, to know that you've
yeah,
completed that area so you don't miss anything, because
that's
this game has a lot
literally
you can
my
miss.
that's
That's all I
literally
want
my
it for.
biggest
Yeah,
issue
same.
with Start of Midnight. Same issue. Yeah, it's frustrating.
Man, all these entitled gamers. Well, I want to have
Yeah,
a handheld.
how dare we? How dare we?
Right. No, no, but yeah, same for me. Like I said, mini map would be I get
What?
what he was thinking. At least give me the option.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
the people
yeah.
who want to keep it
Like,
off, have a field day. But
like I'm playing on the hardest difficulty. That's my choice. It's an option. I can do that. Give us the minimap. People can turn it off. If people want to turn the damage number up, let them.
yeah,
Give them option. I do think option is needed. Another thing I saw people comment about it and real talk. I only experienced it with one thing, and I'm dreading going in forward is the fucking enemies. Apparently there is no enemy log or quest log to begin with.
yeah. The quest log
Uh,
was the other thing I was gonna say. But yeah,
so
I would prefer a quest log.
I
I,
didn't even know there was.
I
I
would
didn't even realize there wasn't one. I've just been wandering around aimlessly as shit, so it's
I
great.
would also prefer an enemy log as well, because if I break it, if I know the enemy's weakness, I'm not gonna be able to memorize all of them.
Yeah,
Like,
that was actually something I was talking to Morgan about while we were fighting the other night. I was like, "There's no indicator once I find an enemy's weakness when I fight them that they're weak to that anymore. There's no thing
yeah,
that
it
tells
just
me."
show you one time and that's it. Another
Yeah,
thing, for the love of God, give us scan. What do I mean by that? Let us the ability to scan enemy to know what are they currently suffering from, what buffs or debuffs they have, so we
Okay,
know where
so it
we
does show
so
stand.
hang on, hang
debuffs.
on,
It does show
hang on.
debuffs.
So I just noticed this before I like hopped on to do this, because I was thinking the same thing. Above the at least the boss's health bars, it'll actually show like if they're burned, it'll show a little flame, and it'll have a counter on that flame that lets you know like, hey, your burn damage has stacked 12 times. And
Oh, cool.
yeah, that's actually how I kill a lot of bosses is
Yeah, I'm
with
about
burn
to say
damage.
that they definitely show you when they're afflicted.
Yeah, they do.
But the game doesn't point out that they're doing these things. And
Yeah,
so
Again, this is why I really advocate for people to watch the things I wish I knew videos. Like, it sucks that you got to use an external tool, but these things are wonderful because a lot of these people have spent 80 to 100 plus hours with these games before we even get to play. And man, I'm telling you, some of these
they don't spoil
tips,
anything.
nah, they don't spoil anything. Like these tips they give you can really save you a lot of time. Like one of the concerns that Omar was expressing before we even got in here was like how he's building his character, right? And I explained that I already learned about the later builds and how some people were doing it later in the game and some of the limitations around your builds. So I already know things that help me guide my build already that I wouldn't know if I didn't watch the video that said, things you should know. The whole cap for
Mind you, you didn't
9,999.
feel
I
it
could
necessary
work
to
at
send me
them.
that.
Wow, that's crazy.
I'm
Man,
just saying, you just watched the video for yourself,
I
and
told you I
then
was
you
watching
knew
the
all that
video.
stuff, and then you didn't send it to me though. Damn.
That's crazy.
Okay, that's
Share it
cool.
with us in
You just thought you was gonna
share,
get a level up ahead, a head up, and not help me out. That's cool.
That's
share it
wild.
with us in the comment
Yeah.
section in the group chat, cause we need it.
Yeah, I watched. I had like two specific videos, so I'll put them in the group chat later. Um, but yeah, so my one other thing that I've noticed this week, it has definitely, with the success of Expedition 33, everybody ranting and raving about it. Um, I noticed that every time this happens, and it's a turn-based RPG, you get a lot of action RPG fans and their feelings. And I don't know why this is. I personally do not understand it because, like Morgan said the other night, everything else that isn't turn based is action based. So why does the success of a turn based game threaten these people so much? Like I don't get it. Like, what are you so afraid of about the success of a turn-based game? Especially a high-end, AAA looking one like that. That seems to be the big thing. The closer
Is
it
it
is,
fear
I can
or
tell
is
you.
it jealousy that they're missing out on?
No,
I
it's
mm,
think
definitely fear, and I can tell you exactly why because I experienced this
I
with
think
Elden
it's
Ring.
fear. Yeah, go ahead.
It's fear.
really
Uh,
interesting.
so Elden Ring came out in 25 million copies. Up to that point, Dark Souls games were just kind of they were niche. Yes, you were you
Is
would
he
hear
botting for you
about them.
guys?
They would drop. Do what?
I thought you were botting for a
Am I
second.
botting?
I was making sure.
Oh,
You're good now. You're good now.
okay.
I think it was me
And so
actually
like
though.
this Elden Ring was the first time that I was like, ah, shit. We are about to get carbon copy clones for the next 17 freaking years of Dark Souls style games that are hard as shit that I'm not going to it's going to take what I want to play throughout the year. It's going to cut that crap in half because all of these games and all of these developers are going to try to jump on this stupid trend of making these games because they think they can do it, and now that it's sold 20 plus million, they get the go ahead and the green light to yes, let's make more of them. And so it I literally bought Elden Ring and played like 10 15 hours in it just because I was like, well shit, I got to start liking these because this is where it's going.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what it is. I think people see the success of this and they're like, uh-oh. Last time we saw success like this was in retro games, and now everything's a retro game. We saw success like this with Elden Ring. Now everything is a Souls-like. Everything is hard combat, all of this. And so you see the success of this, and if you're not into turn-based, you're like, well, Lord help. Now with the success of this, more studios are going to greenlight turn-based games, and so I don't like
Exactly.
that. That's kind of
Exactly.
it's that fear. It really is driven by fear.
No, I
Interesting. I thought
100% agree
maybe
with you.
I thought maybe FOMO, cause people want to play. That meme from SpongeBob when everyone is playing two characters are
They're playing
uh,
outside.
uh
Yeah, we know.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I thought it was because of that, cause if you're not that good, you're not gonna be able to play games like Soul Games or even Returnal. So, cause I saw a lot of people commenting about Returnal in the same breath. So it's interesting to see that it's not FOMO, it's fear. And
I mean,
that
I wanted to see what y'all thought about it first, and I'm glad Thrifty said it because that's what I believe it is too. I believe it's fear. Like they are afraid that you know not being at least they claim to not be turn-based fans, and they are afraid that this stuff is gonna take off. It's gonna convince some of these studios to create and go in that direction, which to me is, like I said, is so weird because of Morgan's comment the other night. Every other game that is not turn based is literally action.
action based, yeah.
So
Like,
you have
what are we doing
10
over
million,
here?
yeah, you have 10 million things out here that are action based, and yet you're afraid of a handful of games, maybe one, maybe two
Right.
other high end turn based games. That's what you're afraid of? Like, that's
That's
crazy to me.
so
Like, you
weird,
don't want me to
dude.
enjoy myself that much. Like, that's crazy. Like, insane. But yeah, I mean, same thing. Like, I pulled this comment up from Gene. And Gene's always a funny man to me. I mean, he's a cool individual. Congrats to him for surviving cancer and all that good stuff. But Gene freaks out over the littlest thing. So somebody put this joke meme on here, and they put they they put the SquareSoft logo on top of the image from Expedition 33, and it says Final Fantasy if it was good. And this man
Yeah, no, no, no.
lost his
This is
mind.
literally how people are feeling. But that's the thing. when
That's
you
good.
It is.
when
It
he
is.
doesn't want to accept it though. Like he is on the contemplate that Final Fantasy is always different and every game is different. This is that yada yada. So by that definition, the next Final Fantasy shouldn't be the action based, right? Because he said it himself. Every Final Fantasy is different. I've seen other people comment like that. So then they should do something else. It's Final Fantasy 17. And to
Mm.
me, it's like it's their territory.
Yeah,
They're okay with the changes because they have no other choice. Because if they say anything, they're gonna, get hate for it. Because let's
but
face it,
I feel like my real problem though with some of these, right, and some of the fans of Final Fantasy that I have an issue with is like we should never be fans of something to the point where like I feel like a lot of Nintendo fans are at, where like they will accept whatever they do. I'm not that fan.
me
Like,
neither.
Facts.
yeah, like I don't want you to degrade in quality, in story, in character development, in world building, and all these things, and give me, Devil May Final Fantasy. Like I want, I want a Final Fantasy game. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Devil
that's
May
a specific thing. Like he talks about the vibes here, right? And I'm like, yes, Final Fantasy has a very specific way it goes about things, and it's like again, we everybody in here is about that life. We all played Final Fantasy. Most of us got the platinum, if not all of us in here. Um,
We
you know
all
what I mean?
got for the most part.
Yeah, but we all at least beat it regardless, right? So people
Yeah,
can't tell, like we enjoyed it for what it was, but that doesn't mean I don't want better. I hate when fans get to this point where they stop expecting better, where they're afraid, you know, to have a conversation about
I hate when they
making them better.
criticize you for even demanding better. Like, don't you dare rock the boat. Like, fuck you. I'm gonna flip the boat fucking over. Like, what the fuck are you doing? At the end of the day, it's my enjoyment. If you're okay with the status quo, you do you. Me on the other hand, I am always striving for something better.
Exactly. And that's the thing that I dislike about some of these conversations about. And this is why I'm very careful with the phrase that's popular in gaming lately, let people enjoy things. Look, you can enjoy whatever you want. I can't stop
Mhm.
you, but I want to have a conversation as someone who is into the industry, the way that we are, the way that we're on this podcast right now. We have to talk about the betterment of things, or if another company did something better, and how do we believe that that should be incorporated in games going forward so that we get better games from everyone and not just a single studio. Like that is an important conversation, and it's
Yeah.
this type of stuff happens like where again they're afraid to even have the conversation that Final Fantasy needs to be better, that Final Fantasy needs to get its shit together and become the premier, de facto champion of JRPGs again. Like, look, like I said, that's not saying you that I didn't enjoy 16. That's not saying any of that. Like the other day, I showed Morgan a comment that I made when I told the guy, like action RPG fans are always in their feelings every time a turn-based game comes out and it hits, and I'm like, me saying you're an action RPG fan does not mean you're not a fan of other things. I just said you're a fan of that thing, and the person immediately was like, "Oh, so I can't be a JRPG fan because I like action." Like, and I'm like, I didn't tell you that. You
Yes,
said
that's what
that.
I said.
Yeah, like I definitely didn't say that. Like I was like, I hate that. But it took this other comment down here from I'll always agree with this guy. I've seen this guy around some. The NCS master or whatever down here said, to be completely fair, he had to tell Gene this for him to come to his conclusion. And I was just like, why does someone have to make this comment for you to come to this conclusion? And he said, to be completely fair, I think this post was talking more about the gameplay than the vibes. Final Fantasy's vibes and presentation are always a hit. We've said that, right? Final Fantasy 16, all everybody talked about was how much of a visual spectacle it was. I mean, I'm not sure it was anything else at this point. That's all everybody talks about,
And the
explosions and
setting.
particle
It has a
effects.
great setting.
Yeah, it has a great setting. But he says, Final Fantasy vibes and presentations are always a hit. Just gameplay wise, Expedition 33 feels more like what many fans of the golden era of Final Fantasy hoped this series would be like today. And it's like,
That's good.
yeah, and it's like, that's what, like, he couldn't grasp that from this joke. Like, his problem is like the joke, because obviously it's SquareSoft, not Square Enix, but at the same time, as much as that's a joke, that's very serious, right? I said in the chat the other day, and you were agreeing with me, Thrifty, when I said SquareSoft used to be a seal of approval where you could pick up a game with the SquareSoft logo on it, and it was a sure thing, like no hesitation. Like that's how good SquareSoft used to be. So it's like that's a real thing, that used to really happen. But it's just like I said, every time the conversation comes up, they're like, no, you can't criticize Final Fantasy, it can't be better, you can't talk about
How
it.
dare you?
Yeah, Yoshi P's the greatest man that ever lived, and no one can criticize
It's
anything.
it, but it literally is that though. It's we and myself included. I have never claimed not to be a shill for Square Enix, but like those, I remember I remember Square when it was Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, when it was 10, even 10-2 to some extent, 12, then it started going downhill with 13. 14 came out, was obviously the mega success that it is, but even that one wasn't a success right out of the gate. Then you had 15, which was the boy band, where they were trying to get everything kind of back on track. But even that one, the story fell off at the end, where it was just kind of, I didn't even complete it because I was done. I was tired of it. The story made no fucking sense. I quit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and then
15 had
16
terrible ending. Yeah.
16 came out, and I'm getting excited the whole time because like the side quests are really good, the story is pretty good, the voice acting, the visuals, everything is great. And then like the more you play it, the more the combat is like, oh, well,
Thank you.
okay,
Exactly.
this
Exactly.
sucks. And then they do a cop out ending that they've used so many freaking times in
Yes,
their
they do.
own RPGs. They used a cop out ass ending, and then you go forward, and now you see a Square Enix title. I'm like, okay, yeah, Kingdom Hearts 4 is coming. Hope they don't fuck it up.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
Good
yes,
luck with
yes,
that.
yes. Tomb Raider is coming. Hopefully they don't fucking it up, because Tomb Raider 3, Shadow of the Tomb Raider was atrocious.
I mean, that's not really Square Enix anymore. They sold that.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, okay.
Yeah, they got rid of that team. So
Crystal
yeah.
Dynamics doesn't belong to Square
Yeah,
Enix
they
anymore.
are.
Yep. They
Yeah.
got rid of them.
Right. It's just, it really is like, it went from knowing it was going to be great to hoping they're not going to screw it up.
Yep.
Exactly. That
That's a
part.
big jump.
That is a big jump.
And yes, Wara, I was there when great RPGs were created. I was. I was there at the beginning. Like, I've seen them. So have most of the people on the panel. Like, those titles, you see Chrono Trigger, and you saw Square Enix or SquareSoft, you didn't wonder, you just said yes, please. Like,
Exactly.
and so I don't know, seeing this, and then even playing Metaphor for 88 hours, still
Metaphor,
haven't beat
baby.
it. Yes, War is going to point that out in the chat, but like even playing that thing for 88 hours, that game is even on a different level than a lot of Square Enix titles are right now.
Yep. Yep.
And so I don't know. It's hard to be. It's as hard to be a Square Enix fan right now as it is to be an Xbox console fan. It's just
Absolutely.
hard.
Absolutely. It's because you've seen it before, and you know they can be great, right? And
Right.
you know they can really do it. And it's not that they're not doing it sometimes, but what we explained in the beginning is that to create a a great RPG is really tough, right? Like we're not saying it's easy, right? Because like I said, my problem is they never seem to get all cylinders to fire off at the same time. Like on one hand, you get great visuals, you get great particle effects, you get a solid story or whatever, but then the complexity dies and they dumb it down, to the point where there's an action combat system that a toddler could play, um, essentially, um, So all the complexities and all the things that JRPGs tend to have with, elemental damage and all this satisfying combat that we're talking about with Expedition 33 is non-existent in 16. Like
Non-existent.
there's no strategy
Dude,
execution.
fire on a fire bomb. I, I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but like the young me would literally lose his shit over something like that. Like Square Enix themselves taught me if I ever do that, the firebomb is gonna grow bigger and explode on me. And now I'm literally killing it with fire. Oh
Yeah, but
man.
that's what I'm saying. Like, and people thought like, oh well, that's not a big deal. I'm like, okay, but again, if we keep saying that's not a big deal every time, something that
Mhm.
is a tried and true staple, something that is literally as Final Fantasy as chocobos, when are we gonna get to the point where how far does a game have to go away from being what it's supposed to be till it becomes something else? Like that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, at first you're like, okay, the firebomb thing's not a big deal. Okay, the next game doesn't have chocobos. Okay, the next game doesn't have crystals. The next game doesn't have. You see what I'm saying? Like, when is it no
What
longer Final
data
Fantasy?
effect that uh, give you an update to not even your equipment made any importance. Like
That's
your
like
equipment.
this is. That's what I'm saying. This is like the next Mass Effect coming out and being in feudal Japan. like like what? Like, wait a minute. I'm not in space. I'm not meeting different aliens and going all this stuff. I'm in feudal Japan. And then like people would be completely lost. Like they'd be like, "What the heck is happening here? That why is this game labeled Mass Effect?" Like that's where it would be. I'm not saying we're gone that far yet. Um, and again, like I said, not War, but Hero said he enjoyed the story, and like I said, the story was okay in thing. Um, like I said,
Now, now I want a Mass Effect in feudal Japan. Thanks,
now I
mate.
want a Mass Effect in feudal Japan. He's like, I can't unsee it. I can't unsee it now. Oh no, I get you. But no, yeah, yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see where they go. Like I said, at the end of the day, man, we just want better for all these games, man. We want good games to continue to come out, continue to thrive, and we don't want to see the downfall of some of the other games that we've seen, in the RPG space. Like I said, we've had the Mass Effect trilogy, and then we got Andromeda, and then Andromeda fell off the face of the map, and you know why? Because the characters were not memorable and it wasn't worth remembering. So like again, these are the things that happen when a series can falter. It's not that you can't enjoy some of the new things that they do, but if the rest of the series gets sacrificed because of it, or the rest of the things that are a staple for the franchise that should be there, that should be getting better, that should be a part of it are not there, then you got to start questioning at some point. And I just never I'm never not going to be the fan that doesn't want better for the franchises that I love personally. And if Hero, said he enjoyed the Final Fantasy 16 story a lot, I'm gonna make him watch the IGN post where they show that Final Fantasy 16 is literally just a ripoff of Game of Thrones, so that he can't unsee it. Because
That's rude.
It's Game of Thrones. It tried to do Devil May Cry. It couldn't get to Devil May Cry 1 combos. Like, what are we doing over here?
yeah, I'm gonna have to give him that. But yeah, in more fun news, uh, this week
Good computing!
one of the big surprises was we got an announcement from PlayStation just super randomly, the release date for Ghost of Yōtei coming out October 2nd. Again, out of nowhere, new trailer. The game is looking really, really good. Um, if you guys haven't seen the trailer yet, I could pull it up here. Um, but yeah, the game looked really great. Again, super random.
You mean
I don't know
creative
what,
Yōtei?
right?
You mean creative Yōtei?
But yeah, man, it's looking awesome. Shout out to PlayStation for just throwing that out there. I mean, in a week that has been jam packed with announcements, new video games, and all these different things. I did laugh about the the reaction some people had with the announcement of the release date, people were like, "Oh, clearly PlayStation knows the release date for GTA 6 now." And I was like, that is just like the running joke of the industry every time somebody
Not gonna lie,
announces a
I would
release
not be
date.
surprised if that's the case. Like,
I mean, if
I actually
anybody,
agree with Omar.
yeah, I mean, if anybody's gonna know, I mean, it's gonna be the publisher. That they
Somebody
have
write that
to.
shit down that I just said that.
Right. Oh no, he's like, I agreed.
also
I agreed
another
with Omar.
thing that's funny is how they expected people expected God of Yōtei to be 80, and how people are upset that it's not 80. As Nintendo fans are
Yeah, it's
like,
it's it's a good time. I know. I know our resident super samurai person in the room, Morgan, had to feel great in a week where she's getting all this goodness. So Morgan, how'd you feel? Are you loving what you've seen from the trailer? The announcement for the release date. Does it give you some calm? Know that you got a little bit of time.
Yeah, I mean, I figured it was gonna be the latter half because Death Stranding is coming out in June, and I know they don't want the two to clash.
Yeah,
So I knew it was
PlayStation
gonna
gives
be
their games breathing room. Let it be known.
I knew it was gonna be a fall game. I just didn't know when. Um, but yeah, it was super random. Don't really know why they decided today or yesterday or whatever to do it, but I'll take it. It's fine.
Absolutely.
The trailer looks good. I was listening to the official um song for it. They tweeted it out like a few hours ago.
Hmm.
Um, it's exactly what I thought it was gonna be as far as like the vibe. It's literally sounds like the Kill Bill soundtrack, like
Oh wow.
Japanese, but with like the little bit of like Western like added to it. So I was like, okay, we're gonna have some Kill Bill vibes um, in this game. She's gonna be getting her Kill Bill on essentially, which makes sense because from the synopsis of the game, she's gonna be
An
going
assassin.
against. Yeah, she's going against people who killed her loved one, the same as Beatrice did. She went, against all of the snakes before she got to Bill. you know, and so she's gonna be going against all the people who killed her family. Um, but I guess before she gets to the head of whoever killed, her loved ones or whatever. So I mean, that's kind of what I thought the vibe of Ghost
No,
of
no.
Yotei was gonna be.
How dare you? It's very obvious that this is a homage to Lady Snowblood.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. It's like I'm excited for it though, but I'm happy though that they finally given us release date. I mean, everybody was saying, well, not everybody, but a certain fan base was saying that it was going to be delayed because we haven't
Oh
heard anything
yeah.
about it, right?
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be a 2026 game. PlayStation hasn't said anything. I'm like, okay, interesting.
Yeah, they
Um,
heard you.
I know, right? So it's releasing in my birthday month, so I'm happy. Um, I'm trying to think of anything else. They said there was going to be a diversity of different weapon types, which is cool.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the sound of that.
They also said that you'll be able to have a little more freedom on the path that you take in this game versus Ghost of Tsushima. So I'm interested to see how they do that. Because I did like the structure of Ghost, so it'll be interesting to see how they switch it up or um, improve it in this game. Um, what I really want to see, I want to see the combat. I want to see what they've done to this game, because I mean, what people love most about Ghost of Tsushima was obviously the combat. The combat was great, it was phenomenal, like the parrying system, the switching of stances, the switching between being a samurai and a ghost, like, all of it was great. So I want to see what exactly has been done, like what's been tweaked. I mean, we're obviously, it looks like we're gonna have like a wolf companion, which I'm always down for the animal companions. I do love a good animal companion, so that'll be cool. Um, but yeah, I can't wait to see what the protagonist's story, how it unveils. The trailer looked really good from what they showed. Um, I'm really hoping to get some good Blue Samurai vibes from this game.
Blue Samurai.
If
That's
anybody's
some inspiration right there.
yes, the Blue Eyed Samurai. Like if anybody's seen that show on Netflix, absolutely freaking amazing. I need them to hurry up and make season 2. Um, but yeah, I'm hoping to get that kind of badass fucking vibes from this game, and I'm sure Sucker Punch is gonna deliver. I have complete faith in them. So, yeah, I'll be interesting to see if they get named ambassadors of this next area that they're about to make a game for. So it'll be interesting. Yeah, I'm sure they did with Tsushima, where they actually went to the area and made sure to portray it as accurately as they could for the time. So yeah, I'll be interested to see how this all plays out. I can't wait. I know we're gonna have a state of play for it probably.
So what you're saying is we're not going to get lawsuits claiming that they use shit without permission?
Oh yeah, definitely not. Definitely not. It won't be a Ubisoft situation. Sucker Punch knows what to do and the proper people and places to go in order to be true and pay homage to the areas that they're portraying in their games. So yeah, I'm guessing we'll get a state of play in like August or September or something, maybe sooner. But PlayStation usually likes us to get close to the release date. So yeah, I'll be down there. I'll be there. Whenever they decide, hey, state of play for Ghost of Tsushima, like, yeah, I'm there. Let me know.
You're getting the collector's edition.
See, that's because they did release the different editions, and the collector edition does look good. But did they release the prices yet? Because I don't think I saw. I mean, I saw the price for obviously for the game was $70, but they didn't say what it was for the collector's edition.
I think they did. It was.
I think it's Firstborn and a Gallon of Blood.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get on that real quick.
Let me get on that.
I think.
Yeah, I haven't seen the price, but I know Hero.
I think it was more than 200.
More than 200. Oh wow, that's kind of crazy.
I do like how it looks though. The collector's edition is nice, and I was upset I didn't get the collector's edition for Ghost of Tsushima.
It's 250, yeah.
Okay.
Damn, that's kind of wild. I have to see what else comes in that because I only saw the mask. So 250 is pretty steep. So
yeah, I'm also not that sure about this one.
Yeah,
I mean,
because it's just a mask and like
you're getting close to what I paid for the Horizon one. And the Horizon one, I got that.
Yeah, the Horizon one was nice though. You got that big ass trimmer tusk though.
Yeah, that thing was great.
Yeah, I mean that thing shows you what you was paying your money for. That big motherfucker.
Yeah, he's awesome. He sits right in my door when you come in the door.
It's like with this, you're only getting like a mask and like a sash and like a coin game or something and some kind of like paper origami looking kind of thing. So I was just like, I mean.
Yeah, 250.
Cool, 250 I guess.
Kind of wild for that.
It's a little steep for that.
I'm gonna need like a katana or something like.
Not a katana though.
No.
You're getting the katana, but just the handguard.
Just the handguard.
Yeah, just the handguard. Oh man.
He said, "No, we couldn't afford forged steel. You know what I'm saying? That's too expensive."
Damn.
No. Before I asked somebody else real quick. Hero said that his birthday is October 8th, so he wanted to know when yours was, Morgan.
Oh, the 17th.
Yeah, he was like,
oh man, October babies.
Yeah, he was excited for that one.
Libras unite.
But yeah, you were already in on it there, Weeb. So, what'd you think? The reveal for the trailer? How you feeling about everything?
Oh yeah. It sort of sort of confirms to me what we kind of knew, that was sort of a revenge story. It is. I think, Morgan, you pointed out that it's kind of funny how similar it seems to be to Assassin's Creed now.
Yeah.
It is extremely similar.
Yeah. But I mean it is like I said, it is a very common trope, because to be clear, and I think Hero also mentioned it. Yeah, indeed, Kill Bill was based on Lady Snowblood, which was a manga by the legendary Koike. And yeah, so I'd say sure, of course they've seen Kill Bill, but I'd say the original inspiration is probably Lady Snowblood, which is
True,
the
true.
OG revenge story in Japan. And yeah, I mean, it looked absolutely amazing. And also cool to see some Ainu representation, which is maybe the one thing that might not get them the ambassadorship in Japan, because I do know there's some that's kind of the dark side of Japan. They do have a pretty of a sketchy history with the Ainu, which are basically the natives of Japan before, because the Japanese are technically not native to Japan, and they
Okay.
are, yeah, they're very very heavily discriminated against. So I though I suppose that it has gotten better because we've seen Golden Kamui, that there's also representation there. So
Mm-hmm.
but I'm pretty happy to see that as well, because that sort of gives a more complete picture of Japan, of ancient Japan. And even though this is a sort of a, yeah, I guess not really based on actual events, so I guess technically Tsushima is also a fictional account, of a real historical event.
Hmm.
Um, but I guess that gives him a bit more freedom as well. Like they don't have to, contort to what actually happened back then, and they can just. By the way, we're hearing an echo. I don't know from who it is, um, but yeah, I mean, looks good. I can't wait, and also kind of glad that indeed it's not coming anytime soon, because yeah, my backlog is killing me already.
Nah,
So
I
yeah.
feel that. Uh,
Oh, I also want to say
yeah.
that people were commenting, at least with the initial showing, that
Mm-hmm.
oh my god, it looks just like Ghost as far as like graphically, but I am seeing vast improvements in like the
Oh
graphical
yeah.
fidelity of this game versus Ghost of Tsushima, the first one. So I am happy to see that. It looks like with the mocap and everything like that, it looks like very superior to Ghost of Tsushima. And Ghost of Tsushima was gorgeous, obviously, for the art style and everything that had going
Mhm.
on. But this game is definitely a vast improvement on it, and sure it'll look even better by the time the game comes out.
No, I agree.
I do think at the very least the fact that you're now having a sort of a collection of villains that you're hunting down, they're kind of avoiding the one of my criticisms of Tsushima was that you're basically every time you went to the castle of the Khan, like, oh sorry Jin, the Khan is in another castle.
He left to go to other. Like, damn, bro, this man is running.
I
Which
love it.
is true inspiration for Ghost of Tsushima. It's a realistic take on Super Mario.
Not Super Mario. There
It's
goes Bowser
very true.
again.
I
Oh
loved
man.
that game, and that's hilarious even to me. Like that's just funny because you're right. It was chase the MacGuffin. It's
Yeah.
not here. Go to the next island or go to the next section. It's not here either. You just missed him. And then go to the third section. Hey, guess what? He's not there either. You have to go clear up all of these farms, and then after that, his ass will show up, and then you can fight him. And it's like
Exactly.
never thought of it that way.
The
That's
con
funny.
was slick, man. I mean, he's built like Bowser, so it's appropriate.
Yeah.
Dude was huge.
Thrifty man, what were your thoughts, man? How are you feeling?
My thoughts were exactly what they were with Ghost of Tsushima. Oh, this is open world exploration done right in this setting. I feel like it's just a carbon copy of the first one, but that's okay. Like that's not a negative to me. Like if it this was my criteria for God of War Ragnarok, right? Because everyone's like, oh, it's DLC. It looks just like the first one. It's just expanding a little bit on the first one. Yes, that's what the fuck a sequel should be.
That's what, yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Take the first one, add some additional combat, give it a different story, and let's move on with our life. Like, add some other things, but keep the core of what made Ghost of Tsushima such a success. Right? That's all I want, and that's what I feel like I'm seeing. Like Morgan was talking about people who are saying the draw or the it's not an improvement, it looks the exact same. The draw distance is absolutely nutty in this game. Like you can see forever. You that wasn't something that was in the first one. The way all the particles and everything are going to work, I hope it's just like the first one. I just hope it's a little cleaner. That's it. I am looking for a sequel, not a different title.
Yeah, I
Like
agree.
if that makes does that make sense?
No, it does.
And so
I mean,
like I
I'm
feel like
essentially
we're going to
looking
get
for,
that.
Assassin's Creed 2, or Brotherhood, you know. So
Right.
yeah,
Like
I agree.
when I went to when that's a great example. When I played Assassin's Creed 2, and then I went to Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and then I went to Assassin's Creed Revelation. The way it worked was number 2 introduced smoke bombs. Number 3, or I'm sorry, Brotherhood introduced upgraded smoke bombs. You could get caltrops. You could get a couple other in party or not in party like in crowd uh, hiding things, like techniques to use and stuff like that. And but you also got the ability to build your brotherhood, which was an addition. Everything else was the same. The combat was the same, very samey with how you did the parries and how you did dodging and all of that. Like all of that felt the same, but they just added to it. And that's what I look for in a sequel. It's not a reboot. It's not God of War 3 versus God of War 2018. It's a direct continuation of this series.
Yeah,
And so I expect to see a lot of the same stuff, and so far I think we're getting that. And so I am genuinely excited about it. It is one of my games that I will be getting this year, day one. So yeah, I don't have anything negative about it. Like it looks really, really good. My one negative has nothing to do with the game and everything to do with the collector's edition not coming with a physical disc.
okay, yeah,
Facts.
yeah.
I
That's
hate that too.
that's been a big point of contention for a lot of people.
Hmm.
Obviously, we know why it happens, but yeah, a lot of people are not feeling that. So I get that.
I think it should just be an option. Like, if you want the physical disc, get it. But if you're one of the 65% of PlayStation owners that are all digital, then make that as an option as well. Like, give people the
Sadly,
option to do that.
the industry is heading toward digital, sadly.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree. I mean, like in an ideal world, it would be an option. I mean, I know why from a logistic standpoint why it's not, because it's just easier to make one SKU of something. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Um,
Yeah, that's just, yeah.
Omar, lastly, real quick, what'd you think? How are you? Just
What up,
what's your vibe?
Yōtei? It's
Yeah,
back.
I know you're excited. So
Yeah, I mean, I got the plat in God of Tsushima. I put more than 300 hours in God of Tsushima Legend, and I even did my own challenge in God of Tsushima Legend by doing God of Tsushima Legend hard mode alone without any help from any friends because I had no friends. So yeah, no. Result though, it's finally here, and I gotta ask you guys: am I the only one that got goosebumps when we saw the Sucker Punch logo watching the stream?
no, I mean they
Like,
do good work. I mean, I like Morgan said, when it comes to Sucker Punch, I trust in their vision and that they're gonna give me a great game. They haven't failed me, so
and another thing is the amazing casting for the voice acting for the main character. In Jin Sekai case, it was none other from the voice actor from Zoro, from One Piece. In this game case, it's none other from the voice actress from JoJo Bizarre Adventure, Star Ocean, Jolene. So I know for a fact you're gonna nail it. I can't wait. Like from the information that we gotten, the amount of weapons and the stuff that I'm hearing about it, like yeah, no, this could be Sucker Punch magnum opus.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
excited.
I'm wishful, hopeful if the wolves get to fight with you, but I think
You
they might
never
want.
know.
I think they might want you to, do one on one. But other than that, like, yeah, no, sign me the fuck up. Kill Bill, no Kill Bill, don't care. I watch Kill Bill. It's not that I hate Kill Bill. Like, no, just give me the game.
Yeah, I mean,
I
that's where I'm at this point. I'm just ready to play.
can't wait. Like, right off the bat, boom, not release trailer, a trailer and a release date. I'm curious if they're gonna go do a state of play showcasing the gameplay or just drop it like that. We will see. But
Yeah,
yeah, no.
I think they're definitely gonna do some sort of gameplay. Maybe it won't be the state of play. Maybe it'll be a bigger event. We'll see. But yeah, I think they're definitely gonna do something with the gameplay. Just they want to give people an idea of what's being expanded and stuff
Right?
like that, so they can really get an idea of like, hey, this is a true sequel, you know. And I think some people are still on the fence. You know, I mean, we're all obviously really excited for it, but yeah, I think a showcase showing the evolution of gameplay and things like that will be really good for them, and I think they definitely should do that. So I think we'll get something this summer before the game comes out in the fall. But
You would, I would hope so, cause I mean I'm day one on it, but a gameplay would not hurt.
agreed. In other news, we had the Oblivion remaster dropped on the same day, or 2 days. Was it 2 days before, or the same? No, 2 days before. The same week is what I should say, as Expedition 33. uh, I don't know what was going on with Microsoft and their marketing team and setting this up the same week as them getting another big game like Expedition 33 in Game Pass.
Yeah, that's so weird, eh?
Yeah, like again, I don't know whose idea that was. It was super weird. But yeah, the game obviously dropped. They literally showed us the game, gave us a trailer, and then said you could play it right now. A lot of people really loved that. A lot of people had a ball with that. The fanfare behind it has been really crazy. A lot of people have really been enjoying it. A lot of first time fans for Oblivion, getting a chance to really play it for the first time, since a lot of people, weren't fans of them back then. Uh, Priscilla being a big one of those. She's a big Bethesda fan, but wasn't a fan of them when Oblivion came out. Uh, Plus, you probably wouldn't have played it because a big thing for me, and the reason I didn't really play it that much back then, is because it was terribly ugly. And they fixed that problem now. So shout out to the Virtuous team. They did an incredible job. I've been playing it on PC. Lucky enough to play it on there and play it maxed out. Which apparently is a good thing because I've heard some people saying there were some stutter issues and other things going on with the game in certain scenarios on console. So none of that problem for me. I know Priscilla's played it probably a couple more hours than me, and she's had no problem. It's all been flawless. Um, but yeah, I mean, they really did an amazing job. Like I said, it made, I don't know, like for me, this is definitely um, a question of the what is a remaster versus a remake. A
Yeah,
lot of people were bringing up.
Is
Um,
it a remake or a
it
remaster?
is a remaster, and
It literally says it in the title, sir. Remaster.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a remaster. A lot of people associate the visual upgrade being significant with a remake. It is not just that. That they state in the video during the announcement that it is a remaster because the base engine is still being used in the game to drive the logic of the world and other things that are happening. But they just went back and cleaned up some animations, all the visual stuff. So, the environments created a brand new lighting system, so visually it's amazing. Uh, Otherwise, I mean, it's still very much Oblivion, right? Um, that's not to take anything away from it, I think they did an amazing job. Like, I mean, the game, honestly, if you want a visual upgrade, this to me is the new gold standard. Like, if you want a visual upgrade to an older game, like I hope whatever they did, whatever they did with the tech, applying all the new stuff that they did. I mean, they basically said in the trailer that, or the announcement trailer, that they added pretty much every single thing or used everything that was in the Unreal Engine 5 kit to update this game, and it shows. Like, it's beautiful. I don't think everybody's really got a chance to play it. I think only me and Weeb have played it. Um, but I mean, you guys have seen it at least. But yeah, like, at least for me, it's been a really great experience going back to that world. I'm a big fan of a lot of Bethesda's uh, things that go on in their Elder Scrolls worlds. Like I said, I didn't really play Oblivion that much back then, so it's basically a brand new experience for me. Um, going back and seeing all the guilds, the Assassins Guild, the the I think the Blood Hand or something like that. But yeah, all their guilds and all the things that go on in the world, and the dynamics of all the different characters, the elves, uh, all the different versions of them, and like just the whole dynamic about how everybody interacts with you, depending on the race you pick and stuff like that, and all the different attributes. With the Argonians being able to breathe underwater and being immune to poison and all this other stuff, like it's just been a really good time to go back to it and honestly get this very very modern day update. Honestly, it's what it's what a remaster for Skyrim should have been like. If anybody has seen the remasters for Skyrim, they basically just look like higher resolution smeared paint. um, like, they look terrible. Like, it looks like somebody just up res the 2011 version, and that was it. So this now looks way better than any version of Skyrim. um, so yeah, hopefully they let this team go back and just do all their old works. A lot of people are hoping for Fallout now, Fallout 3. Um, that would be great for me. I mean, I'm a big fan of Fallout 3, but it is super dated. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so New Vegas as well could use the treatment. So I mean, hopefully, if they got all the tools and they got it down pat, they just really let these guys go crazy and update a lot of their work to current day and just give us some amazing visual spectacles and maybe get some new fans out of it because I mean, a lot of people picked this up. A lot of people are really enjoying it.
Yeah,
We
apparently it sold what 1 mil, or if not more.
I mean, we don't know how much it sold. They just said 4 million players. So
Oh,
I
four
mean, we,
million
we yeah,
players.
we know it's selling a
Never
lot,
mind.
but I mean, it's selling because I mean, you can see the numbers on Steam, but and a ton of people are posting themselves picking it up on PS5. But
It's also in Game Pass, so yeah, there's
Yep.
that.
exactly, that's why 4 million players. But I know you said you played it a little bit. How are you liking it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, a little bit is the operative word because I'm still trying to figure out what my class gonna be.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I mean, yeah, the game sort of you get to you just build your character in the beginning, and then at certain points you get to choose your sign and then your class. But you basically already played like the prologue bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it is it is pretty impressive to call this a
A
remaster.
remaster, yeah.
Yeah, when it just is complete visual overall. Like it's I mean you can see underneath, yeah, this is the OG engine, but everything is just so crisp and clear. It looks so beautiful. And yeah, I mean, I'm the same boat as you. Like I never got around to actually experience the original one
Mm-hmm.
like that. So yeah, I'm glad that I can experience it now in all its glory. I guess that's kind of the maybe the virtue of remasters like this that because like you said with like Fallout like it's really visually dated.
Mm-hmm.
Like okay, the gameplay you can't really you can improve upon it, but you can't really get around to it. So if there is something dated about that, that's not something you can fix with a remaster. But yeah, the visuals, that's kind of the thing is like it probably if you played it back in the day, it probably and you played another remaster, it would probably look to you the same way it would have looked to you back in the day because we were used to these graphics and that was like the the shit, right? That was the best that gaming had to offer. And when you go back to these games, like like I'm used to so much better now that it just looks really dated. And this is this is sort of the perfect treatment you can give to those classic games, where you can still get to experience them, without that sort of dated filter on it. And yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I hope that this leads to more, that they're going to remaster in the same way their other titles, and yeah, maybe hopefully also do Skyrim proper justice at
Agreed.
some point.
God, no. How
No,
many whatchamacallit have they released
You
for
you you
Skyrim?
you weren't paying attention. I said all their remasters look like smeared paint. He's saying hopefully
Oh,
yeah,
they actually do it like this, so they actually get a proper remaster,
yeah,
mm,
so that it doesn't look like they up-resed, 2020, 2009 textures. Yeah.
gotcha.
But yeah, I got you.
yeah.
Thrifty, I don't. Did you have any interest in this one? I don't know if you're picking it up or how are you feeling
Bro, it's
about?
a Bethesda title. I'm telling you, it's a Bethesda title. I haven't touched a Bethesda title ever. I
Okay.
own. Actually, that's not true. I did. I played Morrowind. Hated it.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, I
I
was the same. I'm
played.
not a fan of Morrowind.
Yeah, I'm not. Oblivion to me, when folks go, "Oh, it's like Morrowind," I was like, "Okay, I'm out." And
Understandable.
with with Skyrim, I bought it one day when it was like $4.99 on the PlayStation Store, and you got like all the freaking mods that went with it. And I played it. I got to the point where like right after the very very beginning, where like you can go and start exploring, and you can go to the one of the colleges or whatnot. And I said, you know what, this game looks like ass. I'm done. And so I don't like Bethesda games. I'm not a huge fan. I used to say my only claim to fame with Bethesda was Fallout New Vegas, and then I found out Bethesda didn't even make that dang thing.
Nope.
So,
No,
if
it's like
if
Obsidian, I think.
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
Oblivion, yes. And so like I have no dog in this fight. I will say this though, and I sent you a message on X, but I have to go. My
Okay.
kids are um they're being 11 and 6. So I got to handle that. So I
No, you're all
will
good.
Yeah, family
I,
comes
We're
first.
wrapping up anyway, so that's fine.
Yes.
okay, perfect.
Thank you for coming
Guys,
No,
through.
man. Yeah, man. It
Very
dude,
was good
thanks
to
for
pleasure
have
having
having
you.
me. This
you.
was an awesome conversation.
Same, man.
Bye,
You
Thrifty.
can let everybody know where they can find you if you want before you get out of here.
Sure. Thrifty PSGR, Thrifty PlayStation Gamer Reviews is the name of my YouTube channel. Y'all can find me over there. Hit that like button. Subscribe to these guys if you haven't yet. Great show, guys. I absolutely loved this one. Thank y'all for having me on. Thanks for thinking of me too, Nate. That was really awesome. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. I know you always jump in later and you're like, wait a minute, you guys talked about RPGs? No. So
I missed, I
yeah.
missed it.
Yeah, so I had to get you on for this one, man. It was good to have you and yeah, man. I enjoy the rest of your night and like I said, we'll get ready to wrap up here shortly.
And it definitely will be my last. Thank y'all so much.
All right, man.
Bye,
Peace.
Yeah,
guys.
thanks for coming through. Great fun.
Bye.
Um, but yeah, Morgan. Obviously, I typically know how you feel about Bethesda titles. How are you feeling about this one? At least visually, you've seen it. So
I mean, it looks great. I watched the presentation that they did when they they just shadow dropped it or whatever, and you could tell the devs who did the remaster, because it wasn't fully Bethesda, it was this other studio that did it.
virtuous.
You could
Yeah.
tell, yeah, you can tell they were big fans of this game. A lot of them said like this was the game that that made them want to be developers. So you could see the passion in a lot of the developers that were talking about the game and the way they were putting it together, and the fact that from what I see on Twitter, a lot of what people loved about the games was like kept in this remaster. The spirit of what Oblivion was kept intact, because that's a big worry that a lot of people have when a game is remastered or remade, is that what made the game special back when it originally released will be gone, in lieu of better graphics and what's considered like better gameplay and quality of life assurance stuff like that. So it seems that a lot of the OG fans really like the way that this remaster was handled. And like I said, it's still kept that Oblivion charm. From a lot of the tweets I see, it's like, oh man, they still put the voiceover um redo that they had in one of the I guess one of the scenes in the game where you actually hear the voice actress redo their voice lines. People were
Yeah.
happy that they kept that in there. So I was like, okay, that's cool. I think I'll try it out. I mean, I have Game Pass, so it's not gonna hurt me to try it out. So I mean, I'll try it out. If I like it, I'll pick it up on PlayStation. Um, it won't be right now because obviously I'm focusing on Expedition 33, and then
Absolutely.
the Precinct comes out next, and so whenever I want to switch it up, maybe I'll try Oblivion out because it does look cool. It does look nice. Maybe it'll be the one Bethesda RPG that I actually like, as far as like the Bethesda, the developer, not the publisher. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, but I'm happy for everybody who got to, you know, if this was your favorite game and you got it remastered, or if you're playing this for the first time and it's something you want to try, but like a Nate, you were just not a fan of how it looked, because obviously this game is decades old and it was not standing up to the test of time, so it definitely needed this remaster.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy for everybody that got to got to play the game, and now they're living it up. They're happy with it. So shout out to Bethesda and what you say the team was? Virtual, that
Virtuous.
did this
Yeah.
remaster. Yeah,
Yep.
so shout out to them.
No doubt. Omar, I don't think you typically have interest in this, but obviously, like we were saying, you've seen it. So, what are your thoughts?
So I read the combat is a little bit somewhat inspired by Dark Souls, and I'm like, interesting. Let me see what the combat is about. And I watch a little bit of the combat, and it's passable, but I'm like, too many games to play right now. I'm not gonna lie, I would rather prioritize the Metroidvania over this. No, that's just me.
Understandable. Understandable. Yeah, and then I mean, we're pretty much at the end of it here. The last thing that obviously happened that was big this week, Switch 2 pre-orders went live in North America. Uh, we got graciously blessed that Nintendo decided not to massacre the North American market with ridiculous pricing as far as the console itself goes. So we did get to maintain pricing. I was able to secure one for Priscilla when the Midnight Madness began online, and all the websites were breaking like crazy. Shout out to Morgan for telling me when Best Buy went live, because that's where I was ultimately able to secure one. The irony of that situation is that the next day when I went to GameStop to pick up Expedition 33, and I got there at 2 p.m., they still had pre-orders, so, which was just too funny to me, because I was like, it was just like so tough online, and then for me to just be able to walk into my store and they just had them casually at 2 p.m., even though like apparently they had a line earlier and they still had like a ton. Like, it was insane. So apparently some stores got way more than others. I know Brap was saying like the store near him had like 20, 29, or 26 or something. Like, the store near me had like over 130 for pre-order, which to me still doesn't seem crazy. Like, I still feel like they should have sold out by 2 p.m. because like people were coming in constantly while I was there, and literally every single person was just there to pre-order the Switch. Um, so that was kind of wild, to see that while I was out there after taking all that time. I almost kind of wanted to secure another one just in case anything. Best Buy usually hasn't been an issue with like canceling orders or anything, but yeah, I was like, I thought about it. I was like, well, in as much as I'm here, but the girl behind me had got the last bundle, so it was kind of funny because online, the the version that sold out fastest was always the non-bundle. So I thought it was funny that it was reverse. Apparently, in the store, they sold out of the bundle first, but they still had several, just the actual Nintendo Switch itself. Um, but overall, obviously, I mean, you can see the madness online, kind of how people were having a time with it. Most other places have already gone live, so a lot of our people in chat are from overseas or in Australia and so on and so forth. So they have had the opportunity to pre-order already if they're gonna get one. Um, but yeah, like I said, overall it was a pretty solid launch. Um, Other thing to keep in mind is pre-orders are not over. Um, the Nintendo invites and stuff haven't gone out, so a lot of people who maybe didn't get
Mm.
one.
I even saw
Yeah.
Walmart going back up during the podcast.
Yeah, Wario kept saying like that it may be regional. Walmart keeps coming back up for a lot of people, and a lot of people are having a lot of success there. So honestly, I mean, it doesn't really as bad as it seemed at first. When I saw a lot of people initially saying they didn't get one, seems like a lot of people are able to get one now. So I don't know. Nintendo must have like went crazy with stock because I'm seeing a lot of people, pretty much pick one up that wanted one. Um,
Mm.
so yeah,
FOMO, eh?
well, that and potential tariffs. I think some people are fearing definitely that if they don't get the device now, that the market may be worse later and the price might go up, which is completely understandable from people. Um, like I said, I was definitely on the fence. I wasn't gonna really get it, but like I said, Priscilla wanted it. She loves getting the new tech, so um, yeah, that's why we got it. So, we'll have one in the house, and that's all that's really gonna matter. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's too crazy. I said Brap's probably the only person I know that didn't really get one, but I don't really think he's sweating it. I mean, I'm sure he'll get one before Christmas or something by the time it matters. And I mean, he's like me. He only really plays Fire Emblem, you know, uh, on it. So I mean, I don't really think he's in a rush because there's currently no new Fire Emblem announced. So, I mean, that's that. But yeah, congrats to Nintendo on what is an initial successful launch in pre-orders. Like I said, it seems like a lot of people got them. Seems like they did really good on stock and whatnot.
Supposed to be apparently the best. It's projected to be the best launch of a console ever, like beating out PS4 and PS5, which were the most successful launches for consoles. It's supposed to
Yeah,
be like almost projected to be double that. So it'll be interesting to see if Nintendo can keep up with the stock.
yeah, I think the launch will be really strong because I mean, obviously PS5 would have sold probably twice as much if they had the stock. But they just
Yeah.
they didn't have the stock for good reason, the COVID and everything else, and it was a mess then. So I definitely could see them breaking those records. Like I said, like I don't know when they started producing these things, but apparently they have a ton of stock in the United States, and they started shipping stuff over way earlier. um so yeah, I did hear that, I guess Japan went crazy and over 2 million people pre-ordered or something. So now they're having to do like a lottery system. So apparently the cheaper Switch thing worked over there, and like people are going insane. And like obviously the Switch is already popular there, so having the lesson price just kind of made people go, really made people go really crazy for it. Um, So yeah, overall, it'll be interesting, like you said, to see the numbers when it finally launches. Um, as far as like things to pick up, I mean, the only thing I'm really interested in is Bravely Default that it's launching with. Maybe the Rune Factory game, but I've never been able to really get into the Rune Factory games. Like it's something you would think I would be into, given the type of games I play, but I never get far in them when I play them or whatever. So yeah, for the most part, is really just Mario Kart and Bravely Default, and Mario Kart is coming with it because we got the bundle. Um, but yeah, I don't think there's any other major things as far as what took place with the Switch. Um, how was the turnout when you went, Morgan, when you went to go pick up your Expedition? It was like 20, 30, was line wrapped around the block. Morgan?
Yeah, it was definitely like 50, maybe a little bit more. But I definitely walked around that whole line and just because I was definitely not about to wait in line for a device that I'm not getting. So I was just like, I'm just here to pick up a game. You know, y'all still sell games, right? So I pre-ordered something like months ago, and I'm here to pick it up. Damn it, I don't want to switch. Just want my game.
It's just like let me get out. Yeah,
You weren't tempted. Hey, now I'm
Did
here
they
and
feel
picked up the
offended?
game. Can
now
I
that I'm
also
here.
get a
They
good
actually
key?
them already where they had passed out tickets to people who were there to get the Switch, so I wouldn't have been able to sneak in and get one
Um,
anyway. Yeah.
would have been funny though.
It
Right.
would have. Like, oh, so while I'm here, I mean, you're
Did
Yeah.
they
standing
feel
here,
offended?
so let me just go ahead and get one while. Yeah, I'm not trying to face that mob of nerds on the way out, bro.
Did
The
they feel
pitchforks and
offended?
torches.
Nah,
No,
you can handle them.
no, because
They don't
it,
care.
like I
They
said,
came for this.
it was a ticketing system, so they didn't give a fuck. I could get in line if all I want, and I won. So
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. Nah. Switch fans are definitely a bit different. There was an interesting crowd of people there when I got there at 2 p.m. Uh, but yeah, definitely a diverse crowd. The the
You're being too kind.
yeah, I'm surprised they weren't all losing their minds, because that's always the joke when the girl shows up to the launch, you know, the girl behind me was pretty funny, and yeah, she looked excited to get her Switch though. She was happy, so she was pretty funny though. But yeah, overall, man, it was just good vibes at the launch. A lot of people just, like I said, really excited. I think a lot of people just are. It's that new console excitement moment. You know, reality hasn't hit yet. It never does until it actually comes out. So everybody's just pure adrenaline excited to just try to go out and get a pre-order. Um, but yeah, overall, like I said, it seems like a solid launch. Like I said, later on, I'm sure a lot of people will get one from the Nintendo invites. So I don't honestly I don't really see many people missing out on this that put in at least a little bit of effort to get one, at least as far as in the United States at least. Because like I said, the North American invites from Nintendo Direct are gonna go out. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get an invite. So if someone else here is probably gonna need one, because I've definitely got the time when I was playing Xenoblade Chronicles X. Um, so I've definitely got plenty of that time built up on my Nintendo Switch, and I have Switch Online. So uh, I will potentially be one of the people that will get one of the invites that'll go out. I see C Fresh says he's waiting. So yeah. I mean, like I said, I would definitely be waiting if Priscilla wasn't getting it, and she just wants to play like updated Zelda and some other stuff. So like she's not even in Mario Kart. She likes to play Mario Kart with the nieces and nephews. So they not buying any accessories or anything. And they just get a carrying case for it, and just that'll probably be it. Um, but yeah, that's it for this week's news and coverage. Um, I know you've been secured yours, right? You're the only other one that's
Yep.
getting. Okay. Did you get the
Yep.
bundle or did you not?
I got the bundle and then some.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we've's going all out.
Come on, this is what we were talking about. You got connections, remember?
Yeah, weve's getting the whole
Yeah.
thing. Um,
Yep.
but yeah, we get ready to wrap up. Get ready to head out of here. Appreciate everybody who joined us. Our guest Thrifty who had to head out a little bit earlier. Seafresh, Hero, Warawana, Henry, Viper, everybody else who came through. Sunny, the lurkers in the chat. Everybody who just always comes out and supports. Appreciate you guys. But we're gonna go ahead and get into our outros and get out of here. Weeb, let the people know where they can find you, sir.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter as the Weep Sheriff at Infinite Rhizome, and the same at Blue Sky. And yeah, great show. Thanks again for Thrifty for hopping by, and yeah, Other Nation.
Otter Nation.
Otter Nation.
Morgan, let the people know where they can find you, ma'am.
Yeah, you can also find me on Twitter at Chill Bandit. But I'm definitely gonna be all up on PSN right now, trying to finish and become immersed in the world of Expedition 33. But yeah, you'll definitely see me tweeting about it because I've been taking so many pictures. But yeah, can't wait to maybe talk a little bit more about it when we get deeper into it next week. So yeah, see you guys then. Otter Nation.
Other
Otter
Nation.
Nation. Uh, and then last but not least, here, Omar, let the people know where they can find you, sir.
So yeah, shout out to Service for coming through. Great conversation we had. Square Enix what they deserve. As for me, you can find me on Carbon Shop on Twitter and Otter Play and Vitamin G podcast every Monday 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, see you next week and play your games. And most importantly, pick up Expedition 33.
Absolutely. And then I am your host, Innate. You can find me on Twitter or Blue Sky at The Real Innate. Right now, you can find me playing Expedition 33 because that is the plan for the rest of the day. But right now, adulting has to take place. Is to pick some stuff up, get some things done before we get to really dive in and enjoy the game. But again, thank you everybody who came out and really just supported us and everything, and really had a good conversation about RPGs today. That was just a lot of fun to dive in and really have that conversation. Those nuanced conversations that you can't really get on Twitter, where everybody's hostile and defensive. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Shout out to Kay, who is helping her daughter turn her room into a big girl room. Now she's becoming a teenager, and she wants to go with a gaming theme and change things up. So shout out to Kay getting her mama things done and having a good time, being able to be back home more often, and she'll be joining us here in the future on the podcast once everything settles down. But yeah, we're gonna get up out of here. Otter Nation.
Other Nation.
Peace.
What are the